Welcome, everybody, to the Colleen Center live in studio. I'm Dan Ridenauer, joined alongside Artie Abrego and Sam Bork. Here we go. We got men's basketball tonight. The Bowling Green State University Falcons will be taking on the William and Mary Tribe. So, gentlemen, how you doing tonight?
I feel great, Dan. I mean, usually I'm up in the broadcast booth for these type of games in the Stroh Center, but I thought I'd, venture back to Falcon Radio, join you guys in here, talk a little bit about BG men's basketball before we kick things off. I mean, coming off that little bit of a road trip against Davidson.
Yeah, it's good to have you in here, Artie, and I'm feeling very excited about this game. BG's back at home, where they have been thriving so far this season, so I'm excited to see how they build off that.
Yeah, undefeated at home, 3-0. I mean, they started off that stretch of games, that impressive stretch, first 3-0 streaks in 24-15, all at the Stroh Center. I mean, back to familiar territory. It's got to feel really good for the team. Also, I hear it's casino night from a ton of people, so, I mean, that's got to be a little fun. I mean, they're handing out autographs and stuff from, Harold Fannin Jr. That's a nice little gift.
Yeah, good vibes down at the Stroh tonight. A little Wednesday night action.
Well, and we're going to take it from there. Bowling Green looking to get things underway, get back to the winning ways after they had the best start in program history since 2014 and 2015, looking to advance on the year to 4-1. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. This is the men's basketball pregame show here live on Falcon Radio.
This message is for Karina, our mom who finished her high school diploma at age 28. Hi, Mom. It's Emmettith and Nicholas.
Congratulations on getting your diploma.
You worked so hard and have taught us so much. We love you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General.
Shot, I mean. But BG they had to play a little more small ball. They couldn't really use their forwards like Troy Glover and Sam Towns too much because they had to constantly be guarding the three and guarding beyond the arc, so they couldn't really get those rebounds, which is why they lost the rebounding battle against, let's just say, a sort of average rebounding team in Davidson. They were one of the worst offensive rebounding teams heading into that game.
Yeah, I was going to say, looking at the stat sheet, I noticed a very quiet performance from Troy Glover with only 12 minutes and 2 points. So.
It's kind of been very common with Troy Glover. You kind of want to see him step it up a little more. I mean, a very quiet rebounding performance. Obviously, he had to guard the outside, which I'm sure he isn't really used to doing as a big man. You really want him on the inside, grabbing rebounds, but it's hard to do that against a shooting team.
And I think we're probably going to see more of that with this William and Mary team. They're also a very good three-point shooting team. They like to shoot the ball a lot there, so I think it's going to be another focus on that perimeter, guarding those outside shots and locking them down there.
Well, and with that, we're going to take ourselves a little bit of a break. We've just gotten done talking about Bowling Green, so now I kind of want to just get into it, change a bit of the subject. Looking at William and Mary right now, being a 500 team, just getting off a tough game against St. John's. Just Artie and Sam, kind of walk us through them.
Yeah, they are on a 2-game losing streak right now. They've had losses against Richmond and obviously, St. John's, number 13th ranked. But this is a very, very deep team, I feel like, when looking at them. They have really solid bench scoring from this team. Their leading scorer, Reese Miller, is coming off the bench for them as their sixth man. He's leading the team there with 12 and a half points a game. So just having that amount of depth, the scores really available anywhere for them makes them a pretty dangerous team here.
And also we should mention, averaging 40.8 rebounds per game, and when you look at the CAA, they're third in scoring right now, averaging 84.3 points per game. And then their defense, however, is allowing the most points out of any team in the conference at 81 points per game. So those are both things you kind of look at when it comes to that. But William Mary, the record really doesn't tell the whole story, and I feel like it's a common thing with college basketball. Obviously 2 losses in a row, but like you mentioned, Dan, they're coming off playing number 13 ranked St. John's. That's a tough opponent for any team and any day of the week. But, Bowling Green, one thing like you mentioned they're going to have to watch out for is three-point shooting. Not a terrific three-point shooting team, but they can still hit those shots like every other team. But it's also just about rebounding. They've got 17 blocks on the year, 36 steals, I should mention as well. Obviously Bowling Green's got a tiny bit of a higher number when it comes to steals on the season at 64, which is crazy to say out loud, but still, I mean, those are the little things you have to watch out for. Turnovers, all that things, momentum runs. This is a game I think BG expects to win, but I don't think they should take their competition lightly by any means.
Yeah, they definitely should not take it easy. I think you definitely do have to prepare well for this team, and you definitely have to look on that defense, obviously, that's been the standout for them so far this season, leading the nation in steals per game with 16, turnovers forced per game with 23, and their turnover margin with 13. So that's going to be the big difference for them to come out on top of this game, forcing those turnovers, that full court press like we talked about, really getting under William and Mary's skin there, forcing bad shots, forcing turnovers. That's going to be the real key for them this game.
Well, and we'll take it away from there. I mean, obviously you've talked a lot about Bowling Green, the steals, just everything that they're looking forward to, but we're going to step away just for a quick couple of minutes, and then we will come back. This is the men's basketball pregame show here live on Falcon Radio.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Colleen Center in the Falcon Radio studio, where we are here live for the men's basketball pregame show. I'm Dan Ridenour, joined alongside Artie Abrego and Sam Bork. So we've talked a little bit about this, and we've gotten through a bit of everything that we're looking forward to. Let's just kind of take a little bit of now, kind of close things out before we kick it on out to Noah Seeley and Dawson Pelter live at the Stroh Center.
Well, I mean, when we're still talking about, BG and William Mary, it's important to mention, BG, they still have some facets to their game that really aren't strong, so to speak, yet. They're a little weak on shooting right now, which we didn't really expect for them when they added guys like Javon Ruffin and Meyer Wall in the offseason. They're only shooting 32.7% from three. They've had a couple of really cold stretches from beyond the arc this season. I mean, one game comes to mind is the game against Lemoyne, where they really started out quite slow from the three in the first half. They went 1 for 12, came back, shot 6 for 8, so that was a bit better, but they kind of have to get off to a hot start. They've had really slow starts in the first couple minutes of the first half. That has been very consistent across all games. You kind of have to just hunker down, hit your shots. And I know it sounds easy when we're sitting here inside the very warm Killeen Center. I'm going to keep mentioning how warm it is because I called football yesterday, and it was colder than it's ever been in my life. But you got to hit those shots, and you got to grab those rebounds. So I'm looking to see Troy Glover II really step it up tonight. Sam Towns, the fourth year here at Bowling Green, he's been solid so far in rebounding to start the year. I mean, you can't really talk more about Javonte Campbell, can you, Sam?
Yeah, I think we said enough about Javonte Campbell. I think we're tired of talking about him just from how good he is. But, yeah, he's really just been the standout for them. And also Josiah Shackelford.
Just going to mention that, exactly.
Yeah, Josiah Shackelford had a great game against Davidson, a really breakout game for him. He led the team with 23 points, and he was 8 for 13 shooting, 2 or 3 from 3. So really nice for him to get it going shooting-wise and scoring-wise. I really was excited for him when he came over here. Obviously, conference player of the freshman of the year last year at Flagler D2, and so for him to come here and really adjust well to D1 basketball already, only being a sophomore, is really, really cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, only underclassmen in that lineup, which is crazy to think about. And a guy I've really loved this season is Justin Thomas. I cannot talk enough about how good Justin Thomas is, and he's a player everyone should watch out for today.
Yeah,
just does all the right things on the basketball court. It's not going to show up in the stat sheet, but he's a good facilitator of the ball. He's great at perimeter defending. He had a couple of really clutch layups and steals during that Davidson game. A really solid senior guard who really complements well against Campbell and Shackelford with a lot of experience that you don't really, like, as you mentioned, there are these players that don't show up on the stat sheet that are just as important as guys like Campbell or Shackelford. But it's also, it's interesting to see, William and Mary, only 2 players will leave double-digit points as well. So I think that's going to be an interesting matchup because they're sort of a team that plays more together, well, as a team, as opposed to playing through a star player like, say, Campbell.
Yeah, only 2 players averaging double digits, but 9 different players averaging at least 6 points. So they're getting a lot of scoring, just balanced around, spread around through the team. And they're averaging 41 points per game off the bench, which is 16th nationally right now. So really strong production they have from their bench, which is always scary for a team with great bench production because you're never getting breaks on the game. When the starters are out, you expect them to be slower, not scoring as much. But with this William and Mary bench, you don't have that. You have to worry about the bench, too, because they have scorers on the bench as well.
And I think the BG almost used to that because they're just coming off a game as Davidson where it was kind of the same thing. Every player on that team could shoot the lights out. So they're coming off one game and kind of going off into another. So it's interesting to see how those two kind of match up when it comes to their bench production. Of course, I mean, when you think of a Todd Simon-led team, this could be one of the best starts he's ever had, at least here at Bowling Green. A 4-1 start, if that were to occur here today. But they got to get off to a hot start. They got to be able to shoot consistently from beyond the arc. They got to be able to hit those easy shots like free throws and layups, and they got to make sure that bench production stays silent tonight for William and Mary.
Yeah.
Well, and that's all the time we're going to have, so let's just give you a quick look now at the other MAC games going on. Both Bowling Green is one of 3 MAC games going on today with Bethune-Cookman taking on the Ohio Bobcats and Youngstown State taking on that school up north. But that is going to be all the time we have for now. So let's send it back to Dawson Pelter and Noah Seeley live at the Stroh Center. You're on.
Welcome to the Stroh Center here tonight. Freddie Falcon is flying over the court as we have Bowling Green State University versus William and Mary. I am Noah Seeley alongside Dawson Pelter. How are we doing, Dawson?
Doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. It's going to be a good game tonight here, Dawson. The Falcons are coming off of a close 87-91 loss to Davidson, where Artie did say earlier in the pregame show they had a 23-9 comeback in the last quarter, which is great to see for the Falcons because you don't want to end a loss in a bad note. So being able to get that close is really nice.
No, for sure, yeah. A lot of the players, especially Coach Simon as well, talked about that kind of never give up mentality. And having a 23-9 point run in a game that you were pretty much out of there in the final minutes, that's great and kind of just shows the attitude of the team that, I mean, Josiah Shackelford mentioned that they felt like they could win every second of the game and just kept fighting. So even though they've had some struggles this season with putting together a full 40 minutes, showing that they have that attitude, I think, is really important.
Yeah, and especially coming against a good team in Davidson who is 4-0. Now, looking at William and Mary's side, they're 2-2 overall. They have the most points given up per game in conference, but has the 3rd most scored in conference. So a little bit of conflicting thoughts there, right, Dawson?
Yeah, definitely. No. There's a couple different keys for this game, which they definitely mentioned, and I think a big part for William and Mary is winning the three-point battle. They have an average of 9 3-pointers made per game, which is the 3rd in their conference. So you saw that against Davidson. Falcons kind of struggled with that in the 3-point shooting of Davidson. So I think that the Falcons really need to eliminate the 3-point threat for the Tribe.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game tonight, Dawson. One other thing that I'd like to talk about is we have two semi-new coaches, with Todd Simon being in his 3rd year and the head coach of William and Mary, Brian Earl, being in his 2nd season. So it'll kind of be interesting to see how both coaches play with a little bit of a smaller tenure than other coaches have.
Yeah, they do. You're looking at, for William and Mary, Coach Brian Earl, he's in his 2nd season there with a 19-17 overall record. He played at Princeton from the years of 1995 to 1999, and then previously the last couple years coaching at Cornell. So he's been building pretty well here at William and Mary, but then you look at Todd Simon, who this year they've had a really excellent start to the season. Haven't had as much success in previous years, but they seem to be trending in the right direction. So definitely interested to see how both teams will do this season.
Yeah, without a doubt, Dawson. As we are about to announce starting lineups here, so we're going to step away for a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be here for tip-off. Don't go anywhere as you are listening to BGSU versus William and Mary on Falcon Radio.
There's danger out there. It lurks on highways and quiet neighborhood streets. It's more likely to kill you than a shark and more terrifying than the biggest snake. Distracted driving claims lives every day. Every notification, swipe, social post, video, or selfie while driving risks your life. So while you might think public speaking or the zombie apocalypse is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA.
Mom was always very organized. But my sister and I noticed she started to forget things.
Telling my girls about my Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard.
But Mom's early detection gave us time to make a plan.
My sister and I were there for Mom and each other.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Falcon Media Sports Network now has a pregame and postgame show, along with intermission reports for every BGSU hockey broadcast, starting 25 minutes before each game. Make sure to tune in to hear insights and knowledge from Falcon Media Sports Network analysts. You can listen to every broadcast on WBGU 88.1 FM, your home for Falcon hockey. Also streaming on bgfalconmedia.com.
Ever wanted to hear what a BGSU coach or player says after a game? Head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel to watch post-game press conferences for all BGSU home volleyball, soccer, football, hockey, and basketball games.
Imagine home. The smell of coffee, the sound of a lawnmower, the sun's warmth on your face. Free to be yourself, surrounded by love that helps you grow. This is a place to call home. That's an American dream we all deserve. But in 50% of U.S. states, you could legally be denied housing if you are LGBTQ+. Get the facts and hear real stories at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
The BGSU women's basketball team will continue the Great Alaska Shootout in Anchorage, Alaska on Saturday. Lucas Kleinmeyer will be in Anchorage with live calls throughout the weekend. Depending on the result of the Falcons game on Friday against UC Irvine, on Saturday, Bowling Green will either take on the St. Thomas Tommies at 9:15 p.m. on Falcon Radio or the Alaska Anchorage Seawolves at 11:30 on WBGU 80.1 FM.
The BGSU men's basketball team takes on Virginia Military Institute at the Suncoast Credit Union Arena in Fort Myers, Florida on Wednesday, November 26th for the second game of the Fort Myers tip-off. Falcon Media Sports Network's Foster Rostai will have a recap along with additional content on bgfalconmedia.com.
And we are back here in the Stroh Center for the BGSU versus William and Mary game. It is Noah Seeley and Dawson Pelter here. So a little bit before tip-off here, Dawson, we're going to go over the starting lineups for both teams. One thing that is nice to know about these two is both of the same starting fives are going to be here today, as they've had all four games previous. Dawson, take it away.
Yeah, definitely. A bunch of consistency there for the Falcons. You've got number 2, Javante Campbell, been having himself a year so far this season. Number 4, Josiah Shackelford. Number 14, Sam Towns. Number 16, Troy Glover II. And rounding out that Falcon 5 is number 25, Justin Thomas. Looking at William and Mary in the green, you have number 1, Cade Haskins. Number 2, Chase Lowe. Number 11, Kyle Portman. Number 16, Tunda Valberg Fasasi, a bit of a mouthful there, and then number 22, Killian Brockhoff.
You know, Dawson, one of the most interesting things I see from those two starting lineups is that William & Mary's leader in points actually comes off the bench in number 0, Reese Miller.
He does, yeah. William & Mary, very balanced team, very well-rounded team, as opposed to Bowling Green, who obviously you have Javante Campbell kind of leading the charge there for the Falcons. But we're about to tip off here, so let's get it.
And we are underway here in the Stroh Center as the Falcons will get the ball, almost throwing the ball out of bounds. But we have Javante Campbell bringing up the ball, as you mentioned before. One of the stars for this Falcons team. Towns has it on the left wing. Going to send it on down to Glover. And that pass is going to be picked off by number 16, Vasasi, as William & Mary is going to make their way down the court. Vasasi going to swing it on over to Haskins. Low swings it up to Brockhoff, who's going to miss it. And we have an offensive board. All the way back to Low. He's going to swing another one over to Brockhoff. And a long pass over, almost another Javante Campbell steal. The Brockhoff 3 is up, and it's off to the back of the rim. Picked up by the Falcons. Thomas all the way coast to coast, knocks in the layup. Falcons get the first score of the game. Haskins, the deep shot, and it's no good. It's going to go to the Falcons.
Yeah, the Tribe just not able to get off to a good start from three-point land so far in this game, shooting 0 for 3. Brockhoff had 2 of those attempts. He's a 21% shooter, just couldn't hit them.
Yeah, also along with that, William & Mary getting multiple offensive rebounds on that possession, which is something that we've seen from the Falcons not being able to get as many rebounds as they wanted to.
Yeah, no, definitely. For the
Campbell's trying to set up a play. Gets the ball down to Shackelford, who's double teamed, trying to find the open man, and that's going to be a steal. Number 22, Emmanuel gets it. It's going to be taken to the rim and rejected by Sam Towns. William & Mary trying to set up their offense. Going to find Brockhoff. Swings it over to number 16, Fasasi. Making a great pass down, and that's going to be Chase Lowe with the bucket.
Yeah, Glover tried to double there in the paint, left his man backside wide open, easy cut there for the bucket.
It's a tough thing to figure out when you have to double, when you have to not, when you have to have that help side, and when you just stay home, and that was one of those times where you had to stay home. We're going to get Justin Thomas bringing the ball up. Towns makes his way in and gets an easy layup on the left-hand side.
Great drive there by Towns, gets ahead of his defender, just gets all the way to the left side, lays it in.
Chase Lowe looking to continue his streak. This ball gets over to Brockhoff. Brockhoff's going to miss it. Towns going down. Going to find Campbell, who makes the right-hand layup.
And those are those easy transition points you love to see from the Falcons that have become a staple for them this season.
And, man, what a basket by Kyle Pulliam, number 11.
A little jelly there, a little jelly layup. Love to see that.
I hope we see a lot of those tonight,
Yeah,
Dawson.
it was a nice finish.
Campbell's going to bring the ball up here for the Falcons. Both Campbell and Thomas have taken the ball up here within the first couple possessions. Campbell finding himself on the left-hand side. Going to try and make it through a screen. Swing it all the way over to Shackelford, and that's going to be out of bounds. But it'll stay Falcon ball. As Mayor Wool comes in for the Falcons, and we have 4 out of the 5 for William & Mary making a switch.
And that's kind of where you see that well-rounded William & Mary team coming into effect. They mentioned it in the pregame, but only 2 players in double-digit scoring averages, so subbing out 4 here for an almost brand-new lineup.
And the big one that I see there, Dawson, is Reese Miller, the team's leading scorer.
Yep.
Falcons are going to get this ball in. It's going to find Shackelford. Gets it over to Mayor Wool. All the way over to Justin Thomas, who misses. William & Mary on the fast break. That's going to be Fasasi, who knocks down the three. Dawson, kind of like what we talked about, William & Mary can make their threes.
They can, averaging 9 makes per game. It's what Bowling Green struggled against Davidson with. We'll have to see how their defense improves on the three-point line.
As Campbell's going to try and take it inside, pulls it back out, trying to reset. The double screen by Towns and Wool. Flings it all the way over to Shackelford, who misses off the back of the rim. William & Mary off on it again. J.R. Jones misses. That's going to be Falcon ball. And that's going to be a foul on one of the William & Mary players. But we're going to have immediate timeout. So 6-7 here, Dawson. You're listening to BGSU versus William & Mary on Falcon Radio.
How serious is youth vaping? Irreversible lung damage serious. 1 in 10 kids vape serious, which warrants a serious conversation from a serious parental figure like yourself. Not the seriously know-it-all sports dad or the seriously smart podcaster. It requires a serious conversation that is best had by you. No, seriously, the best person to talk to your child about vaping is you. To start the conversation, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Now back to more Falcon men's basketball action, live on Falcon Radio.
Welcome back to BGSU versus William & Mary. Dawson, we got a good start to the game here. Good score.
We have, yeah, 6-7. Kids love to see it back home. But no, we've seen a lot of three-point shooting from William & Mary, which is what we mentioned, only 1 for 5 from downtown so far. But they've had quite a lot of good looks, a lot of open shots, a lot of swing to the open guy, just not able to get it. Bowling Green, on the other hand, 3 of 3 from 2, 0 of 2 from 3-point. So 60% field goal. Bowling Green offense not doing too bad. Just have to not allow as many open looks for the Tribe.
Yeah, which is something we came into this game saying could be the case with Davidson being a similar opponent as William & Mary, and we saw how that game turned out. So the Falcons looking to not have that happen. As we're going to get back to action here. Falcons with the ball. Justin Thomas is going to be the man throwing the ball in. Going to get it in to Campbell. Campbell gets past half court. Has Wool set a screen. Driving into the paint. And that's going to be tipped by one of the William & Mary big men. William & Mary on the fast break. And that's going to be tipped by Justin Thomas to be a block. We'll give him that stat for now. Towns is going to find Thomas. Right back to Towns. Towns for 3. Rattles in and out. And that's going to be a travel for William & Mary.
Yeah, number 23 there, Joel Emmanuel. He got out on the fast break, just got a little overwhelmed there, didn't plant that pivot foot, and turns it over. Bowling Green basketball. One
of the most common things you see on a fast break are those quick turnovers where you just can't do much about it. You just got to slow down and play it how you normally would. Campbell's going to bring the ball up. Finds Towns. All the way to Ruffin. Ruffin at the top of the key. He's going to drive in. Find Wool. Wool knocks down the 3. Falcons knock down their first 3 of the night. Take a 9-7 lead. Tribe find their way in, and a monster slam by Joel Emmanuel, and that's going to be an and 1.
Yeah, he got the step on Wool, just not able to recover, gets him with the and 1. That was a tough finish there from Emmanuel.
Yeah, without a doubt, Dawson, as we're going to have a sub for William and Mary. We're going to see number 22, Brockhoff, come back in to the game. Brockhoff with quick 2 early threes, seeing if they can get it going once again.
Yeah, and Brockhoff only a 21.4% three-point shooter, playing well so far in this game.
So we have another sub coming in for the shooter. And that's going to be number 1, Kate Haskins, coming in for her second appearance of the night. Ruffin's going to take this ball up and swing it over to Thomas. Thomas at the top of the key. Swings it over to Campbell. Finds Wool to Towns. Campbell on the left wing, trying to make a move. Finds Towns under the basket, who slams it in. Sam Towns with an easy dunk.
He found that gap on the baseline, took it, slams it down. Shot clock expiring too, so great there from Towns. 11-10, Bowling Green leads.
Great find there from Campbell. And Javon Ruffin gets the steal. Gonna swing it on up to Thomas, who can't come down with it. It's gonna be tribe ball.
Yeah, Thomas leading the pack there in transition. The lob just wasn't quite there, wasn't able to recover it, and almost and accidentally stepped out of bounds.
Another one of those fast breaks where you just got to slow down and let it happen.
Can't lose your poise on those fast breaks.
Miller's going to have the ball. Gets it down to Brockhoff. Trying to back down Towns. And we got bodies on the floor, and that's going to be a jump ball. It's going to stay with the Tribe, as we have a sub for BGSU. That's going to be Troy Clover checking back in the game, along with Jason Kimbrough. Jason Kimbrough checking in for the first time.
Yeah, Kimbrough only with about 8 minutes a game so far, coming in early for the Falcons.
Tribe's going to get the ball into Brockhoff. We're going to have a foul on the floor. Looks to be on Kimbrough.
Yeah, he just kind of got faked out there, went back door, just held him up, which I guess you should take that over the wide open layup, but nonetheless not exactly what you like to see for the Falcons.
Especially coming in right off the bench, trying to make an impact quickly. As that's going to be Ryan Jackson Jr. with a little reverse layup.
Yeah, I was mentioning that back door, but the Falcons lost the foul and then got the back door anyways, so.
Wool's going to find Towns. Towns is going to put it up, and that's going to be good.
Towns' little hook shot, nice touch there in the paint.
Miller gets his first shot of the night. It's going to be no good from 3. That's going to be Kimbrough bringing the ball up. Going to find Thomas. Gets his way all the way back to Kimbrough, and that pass is going to be picked off by Miller.
Kimbrough, not the greatest start here, coming off the bench, has a foul and then an immediate turnover.
Rockford gets a 3 up, misses, but that's going to be a foul on Wool.
Yeah, top of the arc 3, couldn't come down with the rebound and then gives the foul away.
Kate Haskins was under the basket, got the rebound, and then a foul by Wool. Haskins is going to go to the line for 2. First one's up, and it's good. We got a tie ball game here, Dawson.
Yeah, 13-13, 12:30 left to play in this first half as some subs come in.
Yes, we do have subs. As we have, if I'm looking at this correctly, it's going to be for William and Mary. And Haskins' second one is good. Falcon's going to bring the ball up here. Find Kimbrough on the right-hand wing. Get it back up to Thomas. Glover in the paint trying to set something up. Ball's going to get back to Thomas. Thomas low in the shot clock. Get it over to Towns. All the way over to Ruffin. Ruffin the 3. In and out.
It was great action there by the Falcons. Got hit Ruffin on the corner swing, but just not able to hit it.
As the Falcons play a little aggressive defense, bring the double team on Brockhorf, and he just dribbles the ball out of bounds, but it's going to be off a Falcon defender. So it will stay William and Mary ball as we have a timeout here at the Stroh Center. You're listening to Falcon Radio.
Get hurt in the game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? We push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Hey everybody, this is Kevin Hutchinson, host of The Swoop.
And this is Brooke Blake, executive producer for The Swoop. The Swoop is BG24's sports talk show about all things BGSU athletics.
New episodes come out every Thursday at 6 p.m. at bgfalconmedia.com.
Even when the game ends, Falcon Media Sports Network's coverage continues with a recap on bgfalconmedia.com.
All right, we are back here in the Stroh Center as we have a 14-13 ball game with William and Mary having the lead. It is Noah Seeley and Dawson Pelter here with Falcon Media Sports Network. Dawson, what are you seeing so far?
Well, so far, kind of like what we mentioned last time out of the media timeout. It's that lackluster three-point shooting. William and Mary 1 of 7 and the Bowling Green Falcons 1 of 5. It almost seems like when they're shooting from downtown that there's almost like a cap on the rim, just not able to connect. Lots of good open looks from both teams, just not able to connect. On the other hand, though, what is keeping both teams in it, to be honest, is that two-point shooting with the Falcons 5 of 6 and the Tribe 4 of 7.
Yeah, along with that, points off of turnovers. William and Mary has 6, where the Falcons only have 3. Something that the Falcons normally have a staple of is getting those steals and making those fast break layups and baskets.
Yeah, normally you would see the Falcons. I would have expected the Falcons to be the ones with the 6, especially with all of the turnovers they get. Leading the nation right now, actually, in steals per game with 16. Pretty impressive stat so far this season. But yeah, just not as many steals for the Falcons, having 4 turnovers and only getting 2 turnovers from the Tribe and just not able to convert those into points.
Yeah, and both sides we've seen a turnover come after a fast break attempt. One with the ball going out of bounds for the Falcons, and for William and Mary having a dribble problem.
Yeah, no, just not able to keep their composure there when bringing it up on the fast break. Some of them, especially the one that we saw with the Tribe, they had some shooters on the wing. If he could have just waited a second, kind of kept his composure, it would have been a nice shot for William and Mary, but just got a little bit nervous there and not able to convert.
Before he went to break, it was William and Mary ball, but the call was overturned, and now it's going to be Falcon ball. As the Tribe had a little bit of a press going on there, Dawson. And the Falcons are going to have it at the top of the key. Here comes Campbell. Campbell trying to make a move, gets in the middle. It's going to be off the back rim. Campbell with a hustle play, and they're going to say it doesn't count.
That was an interesting play there. Campbell misses the shot over 2 defenders, hustles, gets back, and then secures the ball, but the shot clock expired. Now, I didn't think that Campbell had possession. It looked like William and Mary had possession there after the steal, but the shot clock did not reset. The refs are now talking about what to do, and it looks like they're going to review it.
They're going to have a quick review here.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Dawson. I think that it went to William and Perry. They had possession, and then Campbell stole it.
Yeah, because Campbell missed it, kind of fell out of bounds, and then hustled back in. I thought that the William and Mary defender had full possession of it, but the refs will look and get a second look at it.
Yeah, and I think also for Campbell, it would be nice if they did have possession of it because it would count as a steal. And I know every Falcon fan is rooting for Campbell to get as many steals as possible, which, like we talked about coming out of the break, the Falcons are very good at getting points off turnovers, and to help with that is Campbell.
Oh, yeah, no, Campbell having a breakout year, and especially with his steals, setting that record earlier this year. But right now he's only averaging a little under 5 steals per game, which is incredible, to be honest.
And it looks like the refs have come out of talking, and it is going to be William & Mary ball with no basket.
Wow.
Very interesting. It's tough to overturn something that was called on the floor, so I can see where it comes from. Really interesting.
Yeah, no, for sure.
As Fasasi is going to knock down a 3 for the Tribe. William & Mary having a press going here on the orange and brown. Ruffin's going to bring the ball up. Find its way back to Campbell. Still with Campbell. Campbell getting a screen from Ruffin. All the way to Shackelford. Back to Ruffin. Ruffin fakes the pass, gets the 3, and it's off the front of the rim. Rebound for William & Mary.
Yeah, a little hesitation there by Ruffin. Thought about the 3, thought about the drive, ended up settling for the 3, and you never get quite the greatest look whenever you hesitate on a shot like that.
Haskins is going to get his first shot off of the night from the 3-point land, and it's no good. Thomas on the fast break, going to find Ruffin, and Ruffin's going to turn the ball over. Finds the hands of Julium. William & Mary trying to find their way into the paint. Lowe's going to get it up and get it down over Javante Campbell.
Yeah, nice move there by him. Little head fake, gets Campbell up in the air, able to finish it in the paint.
Yeah, and William & Mary getting a little bit of a lead here, going on a little bit of a run, now 19-13.
Yeah, and the Falcons scoreless in the last 3 minutes. Not what you like to see if you're a Falcon fan.
Campbell's going to dribble it off his foot. Going to be picked up by Lowe, and Lowe's going to get back, and he's going to get the and one as Campbell gets caught jumping.
Yeah, he got him up well in the air on that one. And one is good for Lowe.
Just a tough one there. You get the turnover. You're trying to make a hustle play and get back, try and prevent the easy layup, and you get caught jumping.
Yeah, and I think, too, it speaks a lot on the William & Mary full-court press. You know, they've been running that full-court man press for most of this game. That tires you out if you're a ball handler, especially Campbell, who's been handling the ball for much of this game, taking it up the court. He kind of gets a little bit exhausted there, just dribbles it off his foot, and William & Mary gets the point and the free throw. William & Mary up right now, 21-13 with 9 left in the first.
As Lowe does miss the free throw, but it's going to be rebounded by William & Mary, shot up by Jackson Jr., and it's going to be no good. But another rebound, and that's going to be good. Basasi knocks down the 3. Once again, the Falcons just getting killed on the offensive rebounding side. As that 3 is going to be no good. William & Mary on the fast break. Fasasi going to get the ball again at the top of the key, trying to make some more magic happen. So he goes in on Towns, and there's going to be a foul and an offensive foul. Falcons are going to get possession.
Yeah, Ruffin was fighting for it there, and they tried to strip it away, but the refs, seeing too much contact there, give Bowling Green the foul.
That foul was going to be on Basasi as he ran right into Towns, and Glover was behind him. So it was he was kind of stuck either way, but he kind of just ran right through Towns, and that's where the foul is going to be. We have a double team by William & Mary. Ruffin gets his way out of it, finds its way over to Thomas. Back up to Ruffin. Over to Campbell. Gets it back up to Thomas at the top of the key. One-on-one, trying to find his way in. Swings it over to Ruffin. Ruffin for 3. Rattles in and out. Falcons struggling at the 3-point arc.
Yeah, and it's the same thing every time. They're getting decent looks, just not able to bury it from downtown.
As that looks good for William and Mary. That's going to be number 8, J.R. Jones, looking like J.R. Smith out there. There's going to be a timeout by the Falcons. It is 27-13, William and Mary leading over BGSU. We'll be right back after this media timeout. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Falcon Radio.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
BGSU hockey travels to St. Paul, Minnesota for a rematch of the 2025 Mason Cup semifinal game against the St. Thomas Tommies at the brand new Lee and Penny Anderson Arena on November 21st. Join Falcon Media Sports Network's Nathan Burkett for Puck Drop at 8:07 p.m. with in-studio pregame show with Nate Hinners and Daniel Reidenauer at 7:45 on WBGU 88.1 FM, the home of Falcon hockey.
It's 4 a.m. Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You are listening to Falcon basketball coverage from the Falcon Media Sports Network, live on Falcon Radio.
Back in the Stroh Center, as we have a little bit of a run going on by William & Mary, as they have a 27-13 lead over Bowling Green State University. I'm Noah Seeley with Dawson Pelter. Dawson, what's happening right now?
Yeah, what I think you're really seeing here is that William & Mary defense that we were talking about there before the timeout. William & Mary in that man-to-man, but in a man-to-man full-court press, really wearing down on the Falcons. And as well, when they're in that man-to-man in the half-court, they're also trapping, and they're trapping where they're not giving away too many open looks. But when they are, the Falcons just can't connect. 1 of 8 right now from three-point land, just not going well for the Falcons.
Going at Campbell, who plays 30 minutes per game, is going to get worn down eventually. Not happy that it's happening in the first half, but eventually it's going to happen anyways.
Yeah, definitely not. You look at the Falcons right now, 7 turnovers. They've been averaging 10 a game, so they already have way more than they should, with William & Mary able to get 13 points off of those turnovers. Just not going the Falcons' way so far in this one.
As the Falcons don't have trouble getting the ball in, it's getting the ball past half court where they really start picking up the pressure. William & Mary does.
Yeah, it just starts wearing on them.
Campbell's going to find Shackelford, who gets an and one. Campbell with a neat pass over to Shackelford, who's going to be shooting a free throw. First shot is up, and it is good. Excuse me, he did not make the layup. I thought he did, Dawson.
It's all good. Barely rolled out, barely rolled out.
I looked down for half a second, and it's a difference of 2 points. But Shackelford does make the first free throw, gets the ball back for a second. It's up, and it is no good. Rattles in and out. William & Mary picks up the rebound. J.R. Jones going to have it at the top of the key, pass it over to Brockerhoff. Miller sees it for a second, gets a screen, back over to Brockhoff, who's going to take the three. Going to hit front rim. Falcons pick up the rebound. William & Mary still picking up press even after a rebound, which is really interesting, as that's going to be a travel on Justin Thomas, going to be tried ball.
Yeah, and it shows here yet again that tribe pressure, what it does to the Falcons. He had an open lane, and just the pressure got to him, lost his composure, and the travel there for the Falcons.
Pulliam going to bring the ball up, gets it over to Brockhoff. Brockhoff to J.R. Jones, and he's going to knock down another one.
Man, J.R. Jones, back-to-back threes. He's got 6 points.
Knocking down both of his threes, living up to the name, as Javonte Campbell is going to bring the ball up. Caught in a trap. Gets his way out of it. Dawson, like you mentioned, William & Mary is playing man-to-man. Get this ball over to Shackelford. He's going to take it all the way up and in. That's going to be a bucket for the Falcons. Try bringing the ball up. Finds its way to Miller. Swings over to Brockhoff. That's going to be a steal by the Falcons. Falcons on the fast break. A little bit of trouble with the ball, Thomas has. Thomas at the top of the key. Gets it over to Towns. Towns to Campbell. That's going to be a foul on the Tribe. Going to look towards number 8, J.R. Jones.
Yeah, that was a nice steal there by Glover. Brockhoff was trying to roll off Falcons double, and Glover, the 6'10 forward, just that wingspan, able to get it and get the Falcons back on offense.
Little bit of trouble there at the start of the fast break. Did not result in a turnover, kept the ball, which is better than what it has been for the Falcons so far today.
Yeah, definitely. William & Mary still with that man defense, but also trapping some, so we'll have to see how that continues.
Shackelford with the ball. Going to swing it over to Thomas. Thomas going to clank in and out. Towns tries to get it. Misses. Gets it back over to Glover. Glover gets it in.
Yeah, great effort there by Towns. Just comes crashing in, able to keep the Falcons with the ball, and it ends up with 2 points.
Brockhoff's going to get a wide open one, and that's going to rattle in and out. I think if I were the Falcons, I would be looking to leave him a little bit more open than how it was at the start of the game. He has been shooting more shots than he normally does from the three-point arc, but he hasn't made any of them.
Yeah, he really hasn't. You look at the Tribe right now, 5 of 15. A lot of those misses coming from him. I would just keep letting him shoot.
It's a very weird thing in basketball when you can let someone shoot like that. Eventually, he is going to make one, as there's a foul on the inbound. We're going to have Thomas throwing it in this time instead of Kimbrough. As Camden Carroll also checks in for the Orange and Brown. Missed that for a second. As Shackelford gets a little floater. Falcons within 10.
Yeah, Shackelford, nice little drive, pull up, gets the bucket. But you also see Carroll coming in. Great to see him, the freshman, getting some minutes here early.
As Miller's going to try a right-handed shot. Gets fouled on the play, going to be shooting 2. Carroll checking in for the first time of this game. Has played in 2 games so far this season. Has 5.5 points per game in those games played. Reese Miller at the line as he knocks down the first one. Miller gets his first points of the night. The leading scorer for William & Mary getting on the board. As his second shot is up, and it's good. Miller knocking down both free throws, pushing it to a 12-point lead. Kimbrough bringing the ball up for the Orange and Brown. Going to find his way back to Thomas. Thomas gets deep in the paint, finds a double. Gets it out to Kimbrough. Kimbrough the 3. That's going to be off left.
Yeah, Kimbrough had a decent look there. Just kind of pushes it to the left, airballs it. Not a great shot.
William & Mary had that double team. Seems to have been doing that a little bit when the Falcons get into the paint.
Yeah, no, they do it in the exact right spot that you'd want to. They don't let too many open looks for the Falcons. Double and then quickly get back to their man.
The only way for the Falcons to go was back, and that's what resulted in the Kimbrough miss. It's going to stay William & Mary ball after a penalty. Excuse me, a foul. Geez, I'm in soccer season still.
It looked to be a foul on Carroll, just kind of a fight in the paint.
Haskins going to make his way in. Ball's going to be thrown around a little in the paint. Basasi is going to have a 5 seconds.
5-second call in the left corner. That was Towns. Great defense there from Towns. Great pressure, just not letting up.
5 seconds, not something you see often. A lot more likely to see 3 seconds in the paint. But to have a 5 seconds is very impressive.
Oh, definitely. And you saw the whole Falcon bench lighten up there when it was getting close, letting the refs know, and they called it.
I'm sure Fasashi was not happy to be in that corner.
No.
Ball's going to get back up to Kimbrough. Gets the screen from Carroll. A little bit of trouble over to Shackelford. All the way over to Towns. Towns makes his way in. Over to Shackelford. Shackelford's three, in and out.
Man, and a wide open Shackelford on the left wing. Great pass, great look. Just not able to bury it.
A great pass over from Polian, and that's going to be Reese Miller with his first three of the night.
And the Tribe making the threes that the Falcons can't. They're converting on those rebounds, pushing the ball, and getting good looks.
Thomas is going to bring the ball up for the Falcons, who are now down 15 points, with William and Mary having 35 and the Falcons having 20. Shackelford at the top of the key, trying to find his way in, finds Carroll. Carroll gets the basket. Carroll's first points of the night.
Great pin there by Carroll. He was on the right block, posted up, saw the drive coming in, pinned the guy on his back, and just an easy lay there for Carroll.
And that's something much needed for the Falcons, is that interior scoring. Zach, that's going to be Falcon ball. We have immediate timeout. William and Mary with a score of 35. Bowling Green with 22. This is Noah Seeley and Dawson Pelter on Falcon Radio.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Falcon Media Sports Network produces weekly short-form and long-form social media pieces for in-season sports all year long. Make sure to check out at BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and at BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook to view the content.
Snakes, zombies, sharks, heights, speaking in public. The list of fears is endless. But while you're clutching your blanket in the dark, wondering if that sound in the hall was actually a footstep, the real danger is in your hand, when you're behind the wheel. And while you might think a great white shark is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is Falcon men's basketball coverage live on Falcon Radio. For Falcons by Falcons.
35-22 is the score here at the Stroh Center. Noah Seeley and Dawson Pelter here with Falcon Media Sports Network. Dawson, you mentioned that William and Mary are making their threes, where Bowling Green just is not, and that seems to be the difference maker so far.
They are, yeah. Bowling Green only 1 of 11 from three-point land. They've had a number of excellent looks, a lot of open looks, just not able to connect. I would say that's one of the poor things of this game here for the Falcons. The other thing are the backdoor cuts of William and Mary. William and Mary with 35 points, 6 of 10 from 2. A lot of wide open backdoor looks that they've been able to get that the Falcons have just been slightly too slow on. You get a step and you're just able to make the layup.
Something that you don't really see too often from the Falcons is not being able to get it figured out on the defensive end.
Yeah, it's been surprising here so far down this stretch.
Along with that, William and Mary still keeping up with the press. As Campbell's going to have a three, it's going to hit back rim.
And another three-point miss for the Falcons. That makes them 1 of 12.
That's going to be Fasasi who misses. Gets his ball back to Campbell. Getting up the middle. Back to Towns. That's going to be an offensive foul on Glover. Glover tried to pass the ball to Towns. It looks like Glover just ran his man over a little bit.
Yeah, there was an open lane down through the paint, and he was just trying to hold his man out of the way. Ref didn't like it, thought there was too much contact, calls the offensive foul. It'll be Tribe ball here in the Stroh.
Very strange call there.
Yeah, normally college refs at this level, they'll let them play, but the ref not liking it there, saw much too physicality.
Another backdoor cut by Ryan Jackson Jr. And this Tribe team's taking advantage where they know they can at this point, Dawson.
Yeah, we mentioned those backdoor cuts. It's working out for them. And what I also think is interesting to note, too, is that the Falcons did make some adjustments to not get beat as much on those backdoor cuts, but that just led to some threes from William and Mary when they come too far down, and then you get behind on that screen when they come over. And then a careless pass by Ruffin, Tribe ball.
J.R. Jones tries to get in there, deflects the pass. It's going to be William and Mary ball. Jones going to bring the ball up, finds its way to Miller. Miller over to Fasasi. That's going to be a foul on Shackelford. Shackelford a little confused on the foul.
Yeah, it looks like he thought it was an offensive foul, kind of pointing to his head. He thought he got knocked, but ref's not calling it that way.
Kyle Pulliam is going to be at the free throw line for 2. First shot is up and is down. And with them being in the bonus, only one shot first. Assuming he makes the first one, you're going to have that second shot.
Yep, 38-22, Tribe leads, 150 left in this first half.
Not exactly where the Falcons thought they would be at this point as Pullum makes it the second. Falcons having trouble getting the ball in here. Just going to get it in before the count.
And there's that double again. Campbell getting doubled.
Shackelford takes it in. He's going to rattle in and out, but there's going to be a foul beforehand. Might be on the floor, might be during his shooting. We'll see what the refs decide.
Yeah, kind of talking about it there. Looks like he's going to have a pair of free throws coming up.
Truthfully, it could have gone either way.
It could have, yeah. You see a lot of arguments there about the continuation foul of how long before do you go, but nevertheless, they call it shooting there, and he makes his first one.
Falcons needing all the points they can get, especially at the charity stripe. Second shot is up, and it's good. Shackelford knocks them both down. Thomas is going to check in for Glover. One interesting thing that I've been seeing on the offensive side of the ball, Dawson, is they've been able to get the ball away from Campbell, so Campbell's not the only one bringing the ball up, taking a little bit of pressure off of him.
They have, yeah, which is honestly probably a good thing, especially with this full court man press. Campbell would get extremely tired. We saw that with one of his turnovers early where he kind of dribbled it off his foot, but in the Tribe, able to score, easy layup.
Jackson Jr. knocks it on down. Yeah, and especially with the press happening this early, it's nice to get the ball to different people. So Campbell's going to make his way up and down, and that's going to be a foul.
That was a nice move there by Campbell. Kind of did a little hezzy spin, runs into a defender, gets the foul. William and Mary Tribe bench not happy about it. They thought he carried it, but nevertheless, it'll be 2 free throws here for Campbell.
Very interesting to see where that foul was, because it looked like when he was going up, he was pretty straight up. Could have been something on the lower end that we can't see from up here as Campbell knocks down his first. Along with that, we see Lowe and Brockhoff come back into the game for the last minute of play here in the first half. Campbell's second shot is up, and it's good. Falcons going 4 for 4 on their last 2 trips to the free throw line.
Yeah, shortening the disparity a little bit, 41-26 with a minute to go. You really want a stop here if you're the Falcons.
Get it as close to single digits as you can. Jackson Jr. with the ball, going to get it over to Brockhoff. Miller going to make the drive. Little stop and pop. It's going to be no good. Shacklefort's going to bring the ball up for the Falcons, weaving through the Tribe defenders all the way over to Campbell. Campbell trying to make a play. Towns is going to dribble it off his foot, and it looks like it's going to be Tribe ball.
Yeah, you had Campbell there driving on the right baseline. You had Ruffin and Towns both running on the left side, just kind of collided, not able to come down with it. And we're going to have a Tribe timeout with 30 seconds left.
Falcons trying to make a quick stop and a score to close off this first half. William and Mary 41, Bowling Green 26. You are listening to Falcon Radio.
I taught for 20 years, until I started forgetting my lectures.
Eventually, he had to quit. Getting his early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard, but it gave us time to take control of the situation together.
I can't imagine going through this without him.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit ALZ.
Check out bgfalconmedia.com for previews, recaps, photos, videos, and more of the Falcons.
Quick break here as we are back in the Stroh Center with a 41-26 ball game. William and Mary has a lead. Dawson, not exactly what we thought we'd see here from the Falcons.
No, when we're talking about the keys of this game, one of the main things that we mentioned for the Falcons was their three-point shooting. That has not been the story of this game, though. The Falcons shooting 1 of 12 so far in this ball game.
Miller going to get the ball for the Tribe, assuming they're going to take most of this clock off to try and prevent any chance of the Falcons getting another shot off.
Yeah, about a 2-second difference, shot clock, game clock right now. Miller just kind of holding it up near the logo.
Going to start to make a move now. Gets around that right wing. Finds Brockhoff. Brockhoff for three. Rims in and out. But they're going to keep the ball. William and Mary's going to throw up a heater, and it's no good. This half is going to end just like it did right before that media timeout. It's going to be 41-26. Not the half we were looking for, Dawson. We'll be right back here on Falcon Radio.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
If you ever miss the Zig Zone on Sundays from 4 to 6 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM or just want to re-listen to the program, each show is posted in full on bgfalconmedia.com with timestamps so you can skip ahead to your favorite part.
On September 5th, 2025, BGSU men's soccer forward Trace Terry found the back of the net with a spectacular goal within the first 5 minutes of the match to defeat Michigan State 1-0, marking the second straight season the Falcons defeated the Spartans. Falcon Media Sports Network's Lucas Kleinmeyer had the call of the goal on the WBGU PBS YouTube channel livestream.
Suarez will look along for Terry. He's going to find Terry. He's going to take it on the bounce. A left-footed shot is in! Oh, what a strike from Trace Terry! 1-0 Bowling Green!
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Check out live updates on X at BG_FMSN.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Falcon Radio studio here live at the Killeen Center. I'm Dan Ridenauer, joined alongside Artie Abrego and Sam Bork. So, gentlemen, what a first half of basketball that we had. Just Kind of walk us through what happened during the half and what you saw.
I don't know if it's what of the first half. I mean, I was more like, what on earth is going on when I was just looking at that stat sheet. I mean, you look at them right now, just right off the bat, 11 turnovers from BG. That's not winning basketball right now. And Sam, I mean, we talked about it on the pregame. This is the thing we've been talking about them. Slow starts and going 1 from 12 from beyond the arc.
Yeah.
I mean, this has been very consistent across all their games so far to start the season.
Yeah, I don't know what it has been with them from the three-point line, but they have just not been able to hit. Only one being from Meyer Wall, missing 11 shots from there. It's something just like I don't know what you got to do to work on that because they're getting open looks. It's not like they're just taking horrible three-point shots, but it's just not falling for them. And yeah, like you said, the turnovers, 11 turnovers, and BG, who has been so good at forcing turnovers, only has 6 from William and Mary. So they have really just been having the answers to all of BG's defense and all of that so far in this first half.
I mean, they only have 2 steals. That immediately sticks out to me. Troy Glover got a steal. Javon Ruffin got a steal. No steals from Jonte Campbell yet. He's having a bit of a quiet day. 4 points, 1 for 4. But when you look at everything else, it's just also more common things we've seen in a couple of these games. They're getting out-rebounded right now, 18-15. Another really common thing we've seen in a lot of games. They've started off slow, and now they're down 15 at the half. Again, we saw them go into halftime against Davidson, down once again. I mean, these are just things you can look back of, like, that just stick out to you. One again, 20-5. That's the points off turnover battle right now. Like, these are very common things and themes we've seen with this team all season long throughout the 4 games they've played.
Yeah, and for slow first half starts for them, but in most of the games they've been able to turn around in the second half and go on quite a few runs there. But hopefully they're making some good halftime adjustments, and just hopefully coming out strong here in the second half.
Well, and we'll dive deep. We'll dive more into it as we proceed. We're going to be right back in just a little bit for the men's basketball halftime show here live on Falcon Radio.
You wanted to be cool, which led you to smoking, which led to a pack a day. Then you met that special someone, which led to starting a life with them, which led to wanting to live longer, which led to quitting. Then you heard you may be at risk for lung cancer, which led you to getting a low-dose CT scan. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Now back to more Falcon men's basketball coverage from the Falcon Media Sports Network.
And thank you for that, Nate. We are back here live in the Colleen Center Falcon Radio studio. As always, I'm Dan Ridenour, joined alongside Artie Abrego and Sam Bork. So we talked just briefly as when we went on air about, the turnovers and kind of shooting from 3, but let's dive a little bit more deep into that. You start out 3-0 on the season, then you kind of come back into it, and Davidson was just a little bit rough, but you outscore him, late in that game. But just, is it kind of getting tired? Is it more of a mental thing? Just like, how do you evaluate the team's performance so far?
It's too early for me to call it a mental thing because if you start the season out 3-0, you have 1 loss, and now you're here down 15. It's too soon to be able to call it a mental thing. I think too often as analysts we jump to, this is somebody's fault. It's somebody's fault. Sometimes you're just having a bad game, and this feels like one of those times for me. And I mean, there's still 20 minutes left of basketball to play. Let's see if they can course correct. It always isn't clear, but I mean, William Mary, they're playing a very strong game right now. I mean, they're shooting us. They've hit 6 shots from 3. Granted, 6 for 18, but they're being really aggressive in their shooting right now. I mean, they're also winning the rebounding battle, as we mentioned before. It's just that sometimes I feel like just William Mary is just playing a very strong basketball game, and BG just has to hit those shots down the stretch.
Yeah, and like we said, William and Mary is playing not what their record shows. 2-2. They had a obviously tough loss against St. John's, their last one out. So kind of using that as sort of aggression in this game to really come out and show that they're much better than what their record shows. And it's really showing here with, a 15-point lead at halftime. But We've seen Bowling Green, have a strong second half. We've seen them almost come back from down 21 in the second half against Davidson. So you're going to want to see some more of that. And obviously, I bet Todd Simon is really getting into them in the halftime locker room right now. But you need to, you need to just perform better, through all aspects. You have to force turnovers. You have to get points off those turnovers. You have to shoot the ball well. You have to, I don't know. I think you have to really abandon the three ball here because it's obviously not falling for you. But you just have to play a much better second half, which they are used to doing. So I can really see that, them having a better start in the second half will really, be a much better performance for the Bowling Green.
I mean, it's one of those things just about consistency. Yeah, its team, the way they've started a lot of these games hasn't been very consistent, and we've seen that of a common theme for the opening minutes. I don't know if I've ever seen it go on for this long, because against Davidson, there was a stretch where they managed to kind of make it a close game before going to the end of the first half. Then they let up a lot of points to Davidson, and including that half-court shot that really sent them to the down lead. So this is the longest I've really seen them down like this for a significant period of time this season. Granted, you go on through a season, you get tougher and tougher competition. But, I mean, of course, the 3-0 record, that's something you always point out, but then you also have to point out which teams they were playing. But So maybe William Mary is just a little bit more tougher competition, but it shouldn't be something we should be incredibly concerned about. This team still has fight. When you talk to head coach Todd Simon, he's always impressed about how gritty this team is, how players have really bought into each other and how close they are and how they want to make each other better. One thing I do want to point out is, again, Troy Glover, 4 points, 2 for 2 from the 2 for 2 on his shots, but only 2 rebounds. Been a very common thing with Troy Glover, not really close up in those rebounds.
Well, and quite a game to process so far. We're going to process it just a little bit more as a roundtable discussion proceeds. When we come back, we're going to talk a lot about the players to look out for both BG and William Mary. So don't go anywhere. This is the Falcon Media Sports Network halftime show here live on Falcon Radio.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU Student Media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
You are tuned into Falcon Media Sports Network basketball coverage on Falcon Radio.
And welcome back, everybody, as we proceed right along with the Falcon Media Sports Network halftime show here for men's basketball. Let's take a look out now as we start to wrap things up, kind of some players that you want to look out for. Anybody's that come into mind? Javante Campbell being known for the steals, looking at that, just if there's players for BG that you want to look out for, William and Mary, who do you think's been doing well so far, and who do you think's going to continue their performance?
Well, obviously Josiah Shackelford, he leads the team in points right now, 7 points. Meyer Wall, player playing a little bit less minutes than I expected. He's only played 3 minutes. He's got 3 points. I like to see him a bit more. I don't know what's going on there. I'm not going to speculate why he's not playing as much as he is. Another player I'd like to see more. Looking at the William Mary side, you got to look at Tunde Valberg. I hope to God I'm saying that right. But he's really impressed me so far today. 9 points, 3 for 4 from beyond the arc. Really strong performance by him so far. I'd look out for him in the second half.
Yeah, and I'd really like, to see more out of Javante Campbell, obviously. He's been the leader pretty much in these past 4 games for them, but awfully quiet to start this game. Only 1 basket for him, and then 2 points coming from the free throws. So really quiet for him. And, Sam Towns, obviously, 4 points for him. He's got 4 rebounds, though. He's leading the team there. So like to see more out of him. Like to see more out of Troy Glover, like we talked about. And Yeah, like you said, for William and Mary, Wahlberg really knocking down the threes there. You got to keep an eye on him. Got to make sure he's not getting any good looks there. And then they really, I haven't seen much of Reese Miller, their leading scorer. So you'll look to see him getting some more time out there, hitting some more shots.
Well, and I know you talked a little bit, Sam, about Miller just right now, but looking for both teams overall, just who do you see could kind of step it up a little bit as we look along before the rest of the MAC games up ahead?
I think we could see another great second half from Josiah Shackelford. I think he has not made a three so far from 3 attempts. We've seen him make a couple against Davidson last game, so they're going to need to come out hot with him, especially from 3-point range, if they want to knock down a couple to start this second half. That would put them in a really good position to get back in this game.
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, BG, we know their players very well. It's very strong. But if you look around the MAC, obviously the new team in UMass kind of sticks out. But playing really strong right now. Not playing today, I don't believe. But Kent State, if you just look around the MAC, just looking forward to things. Won, I believe, 5 in a row. And they got the national, not just MAC, National Player of the Week award. That was awarded to Delreco Gillespie, a player I'm very familiar with because I've gone to the MAC tournament a couple years in a row, so I've been able to see him play. And this might be his best season. I mean, he's averaging 21.7 points per game. That's a guy you should look out for. Obviously not involved in this game whatsoever, but around in the Mid-American Conference, I would look out for him.
Yeah.
Well,
Kent State and Buffalo as well, 5-0 on the year for them. So
Buffalo off to a very hot start. I mean, they were predicted to finish pretty low in the conference, but I mean, a 5-0 start to start the season, pretty strong by the Bulls.
A lot of dangerous teams in the MAC this season.
Well, and there you go. So looking around the Mid-American Conference for some basketball tonight, only 3 games occurring. Bethune-Cookman is leading the Ohio Bobcats at halftime by a score of 37-29. William and Mary in this game against Bowling Green leading 41-26. And then Youngstown State is trailing that school up north 41-35. So that is all the games going around the MAC. And just as we start out to close this halftime show, just a quick little statement. What are your final thoughts?
I mean, my thoughts are BG just got to get off to a strong start the second half. I mean, that sounds very generic, but when you've had a really rough offensive stretch, you really got to come out swinging. You can't really stay down for too long. You're down by 15 points. You got to come out here with some fire and some fight to begin the second half.
Yeah, and you really just have to shake off that first half, really poor performance there. Just shake that off, come back out strong, like you said. You got to force some turnovers here, especially with that being what you're known for. Forcing turnovers there will help you get it back in this game.
All right, and here we go, folks. We're going to get right back to it. Now we're going to send it back to Noah Seeley and Dawson Pelter live at the Stroh Center. This has been the Falcon Media Sports Network Halftime Show. You're on.
And we are back here in the Stroh Center. Noah Seeley and Dawson Pelter. Dawson, it's been a strange half for the Falcons. Something that we forgot to mention in the first half. William and Mary just came off of a 93-60 loss to St. John's, which doesn't seem like that good of a game, but it's a decent opponent in number 13, St. John's.
It is, yes. St. John's, great opponent there. They were in March Madness last year, obviously a 13th ranked team. So even though they did lose by 33, that's you can't overlook that. That's a great team in St. John's.
And kind of looking at the first half so far as we are under action here in the second half, what kind of went through the Falcons and the Tribe's minds in the first half?
Yeah, I think for William and Mary, it was just their scoring. They scored so easily. They had outside shots, they had inside shots, and they were just able to make all of them, or at least not all of them, but most of them. You look at Bowling Green, however, though, 1 of 12 from 3. They were 9 of 12 from 2, but just not able to convert a lot of their easy open looks. So I think that the Falcons need to get off to an early and hard start here in this second half.
Another thing to mention, Dawson, is the Falcons did just have a 23-9 comeback against Davidson. While they did not win the game, that's a very good feat to have at the end of a half, especially at the end of a game. So without a doubt, it is possible and doable. We've seen it happen, especially in the last game. So it is without a doubt possible.
And I'm hopeful for the Falcons. In their first couple of games, we've seen them kind of have a slow start in the first half and then come out blazing in the second. So it'll be exciting to see here if the Falcons can do just that. Glover
gets a nice block on the defensive side before Shackelford turns it over, gets back to the Tribe. Tribe find themselves an easy basket in Chase Lowe.
Yeah, they got caught up in transition there, and then Lowe wide open under the basket. If he missed that, I don't even know what to say.
Lowe, one of 5 players on William & Mary with 5+ points, gets himself up 2-8 on the night. Towns finds his way into the paint. Getting challenged, but he makes it. Towns with a tough layup on the left-hand side.
Yeah, that was a nice play there. A little swing along the three-point arc. Towns, open lane, drives in. Strong finish, gets it to go.
Brockhoff with another miss from 3. Campbell going to bring the ball up for the Falcons, find his way into the paint, and he's going to be fouled underneath the rim.
And great drive there by Campbell. He was hard defended in that transition, able to sidestep, little Euro around him, gets the foul, which is lucky because he almost would have traveled with that if it weren't for that call.
The Falcons coming out strong like we had anticipated. Campbell at the line for 2. First shot is up. And it's good. Get a little toilet bowl there, Dawson.
Yeah, it took a couple bounces, took a couple rolls, but does fall in. 43-29, Tribe leads.
The Falcons coming out strong, though, like we had mentioned. As Campbell's second free throw is good. And no shock to us here. We talked about it off air. The Falcons are going to be pressing here, Dawson, which makes sense. As William & Mary breaks the press pretty easily. And that shot's going to be in by Fasasi, who's having himself a night. 9 points in the first half, knocks down another 3, makes it 12 so far.
Yeah, great game here from Fasasi, but that's not what you like to see if you're the Falcons. They had a good trap up in the backcourt, but then just able to let it go too easily, too quickly, and not able to recover leads to an open 3. But Campbell on the offensive end gets the and one at the bucket.
Campbell took a shot first, got his own offensive rebound, went right back up with the trees. Not the tallest player in the bunch, but gets himself an offensive rebound and gets the and one.
And that's exactly what you need out of Campbell. He's kind of your spark guy, your ignite guy, your leader on the team. And him doing that this early in the second half, that's what you need if you want to get things going if you're the Falcons.
As Campbell knocks down his free throw. That's going to be the 5th straight point for Campbell. Miller's going to get the ball on the right wing, take it up to the top. Finds Jackson Jr. He finds Fasasi. That ball is going to be tipped by Ruffin. Towns running up the court. Going to find Campbell. Thinks about the shot, gets it back to Ruffin. Campbell making the move, gets a screen from Glover. Back to Towns. Towns to Ruffin. Ruffin thinks about the shot. Shot clock coming to a close. Ruffin drives in. It's going to be off the front of the rim. That's going to be a steal by Justin Thomas. Going to get its way to Campbell. Campbell going to go up. It's going to be off the front of the rim. Great effort there by the Falcons. Could not convert.
No, great. Yeah, great hustle there by Thomas, but not able to convert from Campbell.
Miller's going to get the ball at the top of the paint. Gets all the way on a backdoor cut and gets the layup. Miller flipped it over to Fasasi and gets it right back to himself on a backdoor of Ruffin.
Yeah, and we talk about those backdoor cuts for the Tribe, just so effective against this Bowling Green defense. Ruffin, his last steal that he had, he caught the backdoor, but just not able to catch it there early enough. They get a step and...
As Glover lays it in, gets the and one. That's going to lead to a timeout here, as we have a 48-35 ball game. The Falcons trying to make a push at the start of this second half. This is Noah Seeley and Dawson Petler on Falcon Radio.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
BGSU women's basketball takes on Purdue Fort Wayne in the Stroh Center on Sunday, November 30th. Listen into the broadcast with the pregame show from Artie Abrego and Sam Bork beginning at 1:35 p.m. and the broadcast from Lucas Kleinmeyer and Adam Duffin from tip-off at 2 o'clock p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Let's take a moment to breathe. Deep inhale. Extend your spine. Remain focused on what you're doing. If safe to do so, exhale slowly, leaning to one side. Inhale back to center. If safe to do so, exhale slowly to the opposite side. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. This message is brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
The BGSU men's basketball team takes on Virginia Military Institute at the Suncoast Credit Union Arena in Fort Myers, Florida on Wednesday, November 26th for the second game of the Fort Myers tip-off. Falcon Media Sports Network's Foster Rostai will have a recap along with additional content on bgfalconmedia.com.
Back here in the Stroh as we are just about done with the timeout. And the Falcons, it looked like they were making a little bit of a run. Looking at it now, it was 9-7 in the second half. It felt a little bit more positive for the Falcons, which I think is also a good thing if you're a Falcon fan. Even though it didn't take too much of a chunk out of the score, it felt like the momentum was shifting.
Yeah, you definitely in the building, you felt a sense of that change, even though it is 9-7 like you mentioned. Falcons, it felt like they were scoring much more easily, but on the defensive end, just not able to get the stops that they need if they want to get back in this game. And a lot of it is attributed to those backdoor cuts that the Tribe has been getting throughout this game so easily. So the Falcons will need to look to cut more of those off as the game continues.
Another piece to add on to why it doesn't feel that big is because there's still 2 free throws being shot right now. That would make it, assuming he makes both of these, 11-7. His first shot is no good. William and Mary with the ball, trying to get another backdoor. That time it is not possible as the Falcons get the steal. Campbell at the top of the key. Gets sway over to Thomas, to Ruffin. Ruffin gets the ball back up to Campbell, trying to set up the offense. Gets a screen from Glover. Campbell driving in left, and that's going to be rejected by Brockhoff.
Yeah, Brockhoff, the 6'9" forward. Amazing wingspan there. Campbell tries to lay it up. Brockhoff says, not in my house.
Wool's going to check in for the second half. First time. It's going to remain Falcons ball after the block. Wool's going to get it. Swings it over to Towns. Towns low on the shot clock. That ball is going to be on the ground, picked up by the Tribe. Campbell with a bump, and that's going to be a foul.
Yeah, and Campbell just playing physical defense there. I think if the Tribe player wouldn't have picked it up, that it wouldn't have been called a foul, but Campbell just bumping him too much, too physical, and they call it.
Nice little sell there by William and Mary. J.R. Jones is going to have the ball on the right wing. Going to get it to Brockhoff. Brockhoff to Emmanuel. Emmanuel going to get it up and he's going to lay it in.
He's guarded by Wool down near the block. Got Wool jumping.
As the Tribe press still haunting the Falcons. Going to get it past. Ruffin's going to get it up the court. Finds his way over to Campbell. Campbell makes a guy fall. That's going to be blocked by Brockhoff. Campbell makes up for it with a steal. Gets it all the way down to Towns. Towns going up, and that's going to be a foul. Brockhoff under the rim. Just kind of runs right into Towns.
Yeah, we've seen that a lot this game. But, no, I think – yeah, yep, Towns shooting the free throws here. But we've seen a lot of that this game with a lot of guys jumping on the block. Towns able to get him in transition. He's got some free throws coming up.
Towns with 2 much-needed free throws for the Falcons. He's going to knock one down, cut the lead to 14. As Troy Glover is going to check back in for the Falcons. Wool's going to take a seat. Second shot is up, and it's good. Towns goes 2 for 2 from the charity stripe. We're gonna get a late sub from William and Mary. Chase Lowe checks in. Coming out is going to be Joel Emmanuel. Lowe going to bring the ball up for the Tribe. Miller with it, going to take a contested 3, and it's good, and one! Reese Miller with the and one, showing why he is the Tribe's leading scorer.
Yeah, great 3 from Miller. Justin Thomas, he was the defender there, just didn't give Miller enough room to land, and if you're a ref, you're calling that every day of the week.
Reese Miller shooting 41% from 3 on the season. Ruffin's going to bring the ball up for the Falcons. It's all the way over to Shackelford. Finds Towns at the top. Over to Campbell. Campbell trying to make a move. Towns at the top, driving in. Tried the back cut with Shackelford. Ruffin late on the shot clock. Has a fadeaway and knocks it down. Ruffin with a great fadeaway jump shot.
Yeah, that was clean from Ruffin.
One of those moves that seems unguardable to most. William and Mary trying to get Miller the ball again, trying to keep his heat going. Is he going to drive in? Gets a little floater, and it's going to be off the back rim. Towns going to have it at the top of the key. Going to be tipped out of bounds by William and Mary. Going to be Kyle Pullum. Going to stay Falcon ball. Joel Emmanuel is going to check in for Killian Brockhoff. Brockhoff not having the night he wanted, taking plenty of shots from 3, not connecting on any.
Yeah, he's definitely made up for it, though, on the defensive end. He's one of the taller players for the Tribe, and he's been getting it done on the defensive end of the court.
Without a doubt. Glover's going to have the ball, get it over Shackelford. Shackelford with a nice spin, tries to make a move, and it's going to be a foul. Shackelford a little bit shaken up, going to get some help from his teammates up. He's going to go and shoot 2.
Yeah, Shackelford a little slow to get up there, kind of walking it off near center court, but he went up for that layup kind of out of control as he collided with the other player, but gets bailed out with 2 free throws.
It's one of those things where, Dawson, I kind of think that's what he was looking for when he drove in. He goes, I'm going to get a foul on this.
Definitely, yeah.
Obviously, he was hoping to make the basket too, but he knew that if that basket was going in, he was going to the line for an extra one.
Yeah, it was a good play.
Shackelford knocks down both free throws. We have a 12-point ball game here with William and Mary at 53 and Bowling Green 41. 13 minutes left to play in the second half. As we're going to see a foul here by Glover. Stuck his hand in the cookie jar.
Yeah, they were trying to post up on the left block, and Glover there was guarding. Tries to get the steal, but refs saying it's too physical, not allowing that.
Lowe with the throw-in for the Tribe. Miller gets it on the left wing. Swings it over to Pullum. Lowe gets it underneath the basket, and that's going to be an and one.
Man, and that was an amazing play there from number 2, Lowe. They had the drive baseline. Lowe comes and sees his defender, has his back turned, comes right in front of the bucket. Easy dump off, the finish, and the foul, and Todd Simon is not happy about that one.
Seemed a little bit soft of a foul. Not much you can do about it now.
Yeah, Ruffin was kind of trying to plead his case to the ref, saying he didn't touch him, but they were not happy about it.
Lowe's free throw is going to be up. It's going to be no good. But we did see some movement over there by Haskins and Towns, so we're going to have a reshot.
You don't see that too often, but he's arguing with the ref a little bit.
And I think the thing that Towns is arguing here is that Haskins moved first.
Yeah.
So Towns had his body on Haskins. Haskins moved, and then Towns went with it. So it made it a little bit tough, as the second effort's going to pay off as Lowe knocks down the free throw. Campbell going to bring the ball up for the Falcons. Still with the full court press by the Tribe. Falcons do a great job of breaking through that this time. Thomas back over to Campbell. Campbell to Towns. Towns with a screen to Thomas. Thomas driving in. There's not going to be a foul on that play. Oh, there is. And that's going to send Justin Thomas to the free throw line.
Yeah, whistle kind of quiet there, but he does end up with the foul on his shot, and he's going to get 2 free throws here.
First free throw's up, and it's good. It was one of those fouls where it could have been called, it could have not been called. Either way, it was going to stay Falcon ball. Nice to be able to get the free shots from the charity stripe.
Yeah, if you're the Falcons, you need every shot you can get, as it is 56-43 now after the second made free throw.
Thomas goes 2 for 2 from the charity stripe. Lowe going to bring the ball up, swing it over to Miller. Miller to Haskins. Haskins with a deep 3, going to be off the back of the rim. Towns picks up the rebound. Towns thinking about the shot, going to drive, find his way to Campbell. Campbell gets past a guy and lays it up and lays it in.
Nice fake there from Campbell. Little hezzy, drew back, then went up for the lay. That was pretty.
Campbell, one of the shiftiest guys in the MAC on offense and on defense with those steals. Miller trying to find a back door. Nothing there by Thomas. Ruffin's going to get the ball. Ruffin's going to drive it in. He's going to get a right-handed layup. And another steal. Justin Thomas gets it and lays it up. And the Falcons are on the run of their own.
Yeah, they're building some momentum here. Finally got the defensive stop on a back door, then back-to-back buckets as Campbell commits a foul.
Crowd getting into it, no doubt, with back-to-back scores. Falcons going on a little bit of a run here as well as a timeout. Bowling Green 49, William and Mary 56. Don't go anywhere, you're listening to Falcon Radio.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Falcon Media Sports Network writes and publishes over 1,000 stories per year, including game previews, recaps, sidebars, opinion pieces, feature stories, and more. Head over to bgfalconmedia.com to view all of our content for every sport throughout the year.
Now back to more Falcon men's basketball action, live on Falcon Radio.
Back here in the Stro, Noah Seeley and Dawson Pelter. Dawson, the Falcons went on a little bit of a run there before that timeout.
Yeah, we're finally feeling some energy in the Stro here. Falcons gaining momentum. They finally defended the back door properly, gets the steal, gets the layup in transition. Then they bring their press up, catch William and Mary a little off guard, get the steal and the layup. Then we get the timeout, of course, from William and Mary. But Falcons only down 7 now. This is what you want to see if you're a fan of Bowling Green.
Yeah, without a doubt. And you could feel it in the stadium, in the Stroh Center. They were getting involved into the game, which is something they hadn't had yet so far this game.
Yeah, it was quite quiet in the Stroh. Decent amount of fans here, but on that run, many Falcon fans standing up, cheering on. It's what you like to see.
Without a doubt. And it's a lot easier to cheer when the team's doing good. Falcons coming out of the timeout. William and Mary already ready. The lineup for the Falcons is going to consist of Wool, Ruffin, Towns, Thomas, and Shackelford. No Campbell on the floor as of right now. Trying to get a little bit of rest in to make up for the next 10 minutes of play, which I'd assume he's playing the rest of the quarter.
Yeah,
the rest of the half.
If you're Simon, I like that call. Give Javante Campbell a little rest and have him all ready for the rest of the second half.
As Vasasi is going to keep his fantastic night going with a layup of his own. And on top of that, Dawson, I wouldn't say Campbell was the biggest factor in that run for the Falcons. So having him off the floor I don't think takes away too much momentum.
No, yeah, and they bring in Wool, who surprisingly only has 5 minutes so far this game. We saw him a lot in the first game. He lit it up, especially from downtown. So we'll see what happens here.
Shackelford makes a baseline jumper. Gets another 2 points for the Falcons. Cuts the lead 2-7, 58-51. As you can hear the student section getting involved here with the cheer team. And that's going to be a turnover. Falcon ball.
Yeah, and if you're in this building, you can definitely feel it. Fans starting to get into it. The student section starting to get into it. You can just feel an energy shift, and I think that the Tribe can too as they turn the ball over right there.
The Tribe going to try and do whatever they can to prevent that. We're going to have a foul after the inbound. Justin Thomas gets the ball a little bit high, and it looks like that was number 11, Kyle Pulliam. He's going to go and kind of undercut him. Doesn't make him fall, but going to be enough for a foul.
Yeah, great pressure there from the Tribe, but just a little bit too much pressure there as Pulliam guarding Thomas too hard, and they're going to call the foul, and he's going to have a free throw coming up here.
Much needed free shots for the Falcons. His first shot is up, and it's good. He's going to get a second. And to say the least, Dawson, these free throws have been free for the Falcons, 15 of 17 on the night, which is much needed in this game.
They have been, yeah. The three-point line has not been consistent for them, but what has been is that free throw line. So
another one's knocked down by Thomas, cutting this lead just to 5. Miller calling for the ball, wants to try and take control. Going to drive right, pull back, finds Basasi, who gets the layup.
And yeah, another back door for William and Mary. Gets a step on Wool, lays it up and in.
Just a tough thing to see there after a little bit of a run for the Falcons, having that breaker there. Ruffin has it on the left wing. Going to get all the way over to Shackelford. Shackelford going to drive in. No call. William and Mary on the fast break, 3-on-1, and that's going to be laid up by Jackson Jr.
Yeah, Ruffin got bumped on that drive. He looked a little bit shaken up, but they don't call it. 3-on-1 fast break, and they get the bucket.
Thomas at the top of the key. Tries to get a screen from Towns. Driving in, here comes a double team. Falcons cannot find the open man. Thomas finally does. Gets all the way back to Towns. Back around to Thomas. Thomas driving in. He's going to get a right-handed layup.
Man, and what a play that was. Multiple players getting doubled, swung all the way across the court. Quick 2 passes, drives in, little spin, gets the bucket to go.
2 separate double teams. Couldn't find the open man, finally gets around to it. As Reese Miller is going to miss a three. Orange or Brown going to pick it up. Towns bringing it up the right-hand side. Ruffin fakes the three. Brings it all the way over to Shackelford. Screened by Towns. And that's going to be a turnover by the Falcons. Thomas going to let it loose. Miller gets his way into the paint. Can't keep a hold of it. Going to swing it back out. Top of the key for Vasasi. Vasasi's going to take it in and cannot get it to fall.
Yeah, it was a little bit out of control there on that layup. Oh!
As Shackelford tries to make the rim rock. Just barely misses it, but there's going to be a foul.
Yeah, he really tried to slam that one there. Bailed out with the foul at least. But, man, the whole bench got up and stood up for that one.
And if you thought the crowd was loud during that run, it would have been a heck of a lot louder if that landed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shackelford definitely went in there with some intent, to say the least. One thing that I would like to point out, Dawson, is it looks like William & Mary is kind of going into a zone.
They are, yeah. And that's kind of, it's interesting because they're doubling down on those post guys. We saw it on the previous play. We saw it on this one. That zone, which it's honestly not a bad idea. Zones encourage three-point shooting. Bowling Green only 1 of 12 from 3. So we're going to continue to see how that develops here for the Tribe.
William & Mary head coach Brian Earl probably saw that Falcons have not been making the threes that they normally have, decided to put a little bit of pressure on them to start making some.
Yeah, and it still allows them to double as well, which has been working out for the Tribe. So dropping into a 2-3 zone, very interesting.
Great coaching by William & Mary. But great coaching can only take you so far, as Kyle Pullum misses. Air balls, in fact, and it's going to be Falcon ball.
Yeah, a little wide right there from Pulliam. 35% three-point shooter, but just not a good look for him right there.
Looked a little bit farther than you probably would have wanted it.
Yeah.
Thomas is going to bring the ball up for the Falcons. Going to get a screen from Campbell and Ruffin. Swings it all the way around. Corner to corner. Ruffin at the top of the key. Driving in. Swings it over Shackelford. Shackelford to Campbell. Campbell to Thomas. Thomas the three. Front rimmed.
And that was nice offense from the Falcons. Had a couple double swings. Thomas just not able to finish.
As a little bump by Ruffin is going to lead to a foul. That's going to be Kyle Pulliam for William & Mary. And we're going to have a quick timeout here as William & Mary leads Bowling Green 62-55. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Falcon Radio.
Cats are masters at using up their 9 lives, like chasing laser pointers into walls or jumping onto high shelves. But the one thing cats never do, text while driving. So be like a cat and protect your one and only life. Don't text and drive.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Did you know Falcon Media Sports Network has video highlights of BGSU athletic events? To see all the moments from your favorite BGSU teams and athletes, head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel or view them on bgfalconmedia.com.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
If you build a relationship, then it becomes easier. If you build trust, it becomes easier. As a parent, you want what's best for your child. To give them the love that a child needs is probably the best thing you can do for a teenager.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Even when the game ends, Falcon Media Sports Network's coverage continues with a recap on bgfalconmedia.com.
As a game that we thought was not going to be as close going into the second half, it has become a close game. William & Mary 62, Bowling Green 55. Noah Seeley and Dawson Pelter here with Falcon Media Sports Network. Dawson, the Falcons seem to be making a little bit of a comeback. What have you seen so far?
They do, yeah. I would describe it as one word and one word only, and that would be composure. They're up 29-21 in this second half. They look a lot more composed. They look a lot more confident. In the first half, you saw that man press. You saw that double team defense from William and Mary. And the Falcons they looked all out of sorts. But into the second half, they look a lot more calm. They're able to convert a lot more. And, I mean, they're up 8 this half on offense alone, only down 62-55. They've got good rhythm. They've got good momentum. It'll be interesting to see here if they can get this one back in the lead.
Yeah, definitely a different type of defense that William and Mary is running. Sometimes that plays a key factor in how you're going to shoot, because sometimes you're like, how the heck am I so open? And then you end up missing.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's tough.
Yeah, we've mentioned Bowling Green 1 of 13 from 3. They've only shot 1 in this second half, surprisingly. But no, when you're that open, it can kind of get in your head sometimes. Do I swing it? Why am I so open? Do I shoot it? And that kind of uncertainty, the mental game of basketball, is really real and can really affect your shot. So,
as William and Mary knocks down both free throws, that's going to be Kyle Pulliam. Another thing that I think is kind of important there is the Falcons haven't taken any threes in the second half, only 1. So they've seen their weakness, and I think it's helping them so far.
They have, yeah. They've been relying a lot more on the twos in the paint as well as free throws. That's been helping them a lot, as they are 16 of 20 from the charity stripe.
Thomas is going to have it at the top of the key. Gets it over to Towns. Towns trying to back down Brockhoff. Somehow get the ball back, gets it to Ruffin. Ruffin for 3 off the backside of the rim. Campbell gets down on Jackson Jr. Pulliam will find its way over to Brockhoff. Brockhoff to Fasasi. Back to Brockhoff, and that's going to be a foul. Shackelford kind of knew it was going to be a foul, and he said it was that close to not being one.
Yeah, he admitted it there on that one. He had the guy running through the lane, just got a little tangled up in him as he was trying to stop the back door, and it'll give 2 free throws here for William and Mary.
At the line is Killian Brockhoff. Brockhoff's going to knock down his first free throw. Brockhoff, who did not make it to the free throw line in the first half, knocks down one here. As we're also going to see Troy Glover check into the game, and Shackelford's going to come out. Shackelford probably needing a rest, playing a key piece in that run that the Falcons had. Oh, excuse me, it was Towns who subbed out. Towns also had a big piece in that too. We're going to have a double dribble by Campbell.
Yeah, and that's uncertainty I was kind of talking about. They've been pressuring Campbell, the main ball handler for the Falcons, this entire game, and he just doesn't get a clean look there, double dribbles it, and it'll be a try ball.
Fasase with the ball. As we're going to have an offensive foul on Brockhoff. Shackelford's happy to hear.
Yeah, the Tribe bench did not agree with that one. Just kind of a push-off, it looked like, in the paint. But nevertheless, it'll be Falcon ball.
Shackelford's been guarding Brockhoff down there in the post. Kind of looked like he's had enough of it as he gets a layup of his own. It's going to be blocked off the backboard. The Falcons looking for a goaltend, not going to get one here.
That was insane. That was a full-court pass. And, yeah, it looked like he pinned it off the backboard, fighting for the call, but they're not going to give it to him.
Tough to see from up here as we're on the opposite side. Brockhoff's going to get a 3, and it's going to miss. Ruffin's going to get the rebound, get it over to Thomas. Thomas over to Campbell. Campbell stuck on the baseline, and there's going to be a foul on Brockhoff.
Yeah, and Campbell driving on the left side towards the baseline. He had Shackelford open on the corner, but he gets tangled up. They call the foul there, and Campbell will have some free throws.
Along with that is going to be Brockhoff's third foul. Campbell's going to go to the line. Shots up, and it's in. Not much of a run per se in the last couple of plays, but back and forth between the two teams.
Yeah, Bowling Green actually scoreless in the last 3 minutes up until that free throw right there from Campbell. And he has another one coming up right here.
Second shot is up, and it rims out. 10-point game here. William and Mary has the ball on the left wing, going to swing it up to the center. Fasasi with a great pass down to Emmanuel. Pulliam's going to miss a three, but another offensive rebound by Lowe. Swung out to J.R. Jones, who rattles one in and out.
And William and Mary getting great looks. They have those back doors, as we mentioned time and time again. But when they don't get them, they have kick-out threes, which is a very high percentage shot, just not able to connect right there.
Shackelford's going to take a three. Not going to land. Going to go back to try ball. As Pulliam's going to get it at the top of the key. J.R. Jones swings it down to Fasasi. Back over to Pulliam, who's going to knock down the three. Pulliam gets a much-needed three for William and Mary to push this lead to 13.
Yeah, and a 7-1 run for William and Mary in the last 4 minutes as Campbell draws the foul on the lay.
Campbell trying to make something happen here for the Falcons. Going to go back to the free throw line for two.
And that's 4 fouls there on Valberg.
Yeah, Valberg, Brockhoff, and Emmanuel all having 3 or more. As Campbell's free throw banks in and out.
Yeah, Campbell, an 80% free throw shooter so far this year. Struggling a little bit from the free throw line the last couple tries.
Yeah, and at one point was 4 for 4. Or 3 for 3 from the free throw line in a stretch. Tough to see that free throw percentage go down. As the second one swishes right in. Falcons keeping the press down 12 with 5 minutes left to go in the ball game. Shackelford tries to play the trap, doesn't work out. Lowe with the ball, going to swing it to Reese. Back over to Lowe. As Brockhoff gets low and plays bully ball on Shackelford.
Yeah, that was a nice play there from Brockhoff. Couple dribbles near the block and able to power it up. Little hook there, gets it to go.
Sam Towns misses a three on Bowling Green's offensive possession. Miller at the top of the key. As Lowe's going to start to drive. Trying to go back to Brockhoff under there, who now has Campbell on him. As Miller's going to try a left hand, and that's going to be rejected by Thomas.
Yeah, that was a nice drive by Miller, but Thomas just not letting him have it. He tried to go for the right-hand lay and rejected.
We're going to have a media timeout here at the Stroh Center. 71 William Mary, 57 Bowling Green, 4 minutes left. Don't go anywhere. We're on Falcon Radio.
Remember, always be generous with the nutmeg. Just eyeball it.
Okay.
Mom's wisdom has served you well, but now it may be your turn to guide her.
Hey, I'm worried about Mom. She keeps forgetting her famous sweet potato pie recipe.
Some things come with age, sis.
And some don't.
Knowing the early signs of Alzheimer's in a loved one will help you make the best decisions for your family. Visit 10signs.org to learn the signs. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
On November 1st, 2024, BGSU men's soccer defeated nationally ranked Western Michigan for the first time in a decade. Falcon Media Sports Network's Lucas Kleinmeyer was on the call on the WBGU PBS YouTube channel.
History has been made here at Cochran Stadium for the first time in 37 regular season matches for the Western Michigan Broncos, and for the first time in a decade, the Bowling Green Falcons take down the Western Michigan Broncos by a final score of 3-0 here at Concord Stadium. Wow!
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
You are listening to Falcon basketball coverage from the Falcon Media Sports Network, live on Falcon Radio.
Back here live from the Stroh Center, as the Falcons' run kind of diminished there in the last couple minutes. 71-51, William & Mary with the lead over the Falcons. I'm Noah Seeley here with Dawson Pelter. Dawson, what kind of went through those last couple minutes where William & Mary just kind of took control?
Yeah, William & Mary taking control there, 9-2 run in the last 5 minutes. Playing hard defense on the Falcons, converting those into easy buckets on the offensive end. If you're the Falcons, you've got a little under 4 minutes left in this game, 71-57.
Ooh, as a monster slam from the throw-in, Reese Miller finds Joel Emmanuel and just lays down the hammer.
That was nice.
Fantastic throw-in play by the Falcons. Throw-in play. I think I'm still in soccer mode, Dawson. Holy cow. Inbound play. As Thomas is going to drive in for the Falcons. Not going to get the layup to fall. And that's going to be Pulliam with the ball. Gets the rebound for the Tribe. Falcons looking to double here. Just try and get any type of movement going as Shackelford picks up the ball on a turnover from William & Mary. Towns in the corner. Finds Shackelford. Back over to Towns to Ruffin. Ruffin driving in. Swings it up. And that's going to be Shackelford, who does not get the layup. William & Mary's going to pick it up. Looked like a for sure layup by Shackelford. Just could not get it to go.
Yeah, just rolled right off the rim. Oh, Campbell picks it away, though.
Shocker there. Campbell gets the steal. Misses the first layup, gets the rebound, and takes the second time. So we're going to see a Falcon timeout to try and get one last stretch going with 2 minutes and 37 seconds to go. William & Mary, 73. Bowling Green, 59. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Falcon Radio.
Mommy, can I sit in the front seat just this one time? Please, please, please.
No, not yet.
But why?
Because I love you, and you're just not ready yet. Now, get in the back so I can get you in your car seat, please.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
This is Falcon men's basketball coverage live on Falcon Radio. For Falcons, by Falcons.
Two minutes and 36 seconds left in this game at the Stroh Center. William & Mary 73, Bowling Green 59. Noah Seeley along with Dawson Peltler. Dawson, what do the Falcons have to do to try and get back in this game with only 2.5 left?
Yeah, it's all about tempo here for the Falcons. We saw them come back in the Davidson game, but for them, offensively, it's about getting to the basket. We've seen their success at the free throw line, and what helps too, when you're at the line, that clock stops, and if you're the Falcons with only 2 minutes and 37 seconds left, you need every second that you can get. But it also means on the defensive end, keeping up with your press. We've seen a lot, especially here in the last few minutes, with the Falcons in their press, speeding up the William & Mary players, kind of getting them out of their composure, throwing the ball away. So if the Falcons can do those two things effectively, similar to how they did in the Davidson game, it'll give them a good shot to come back here.
And I think one thing about that, Dawson, is to try and get as many points as possible, it would be nice to land a shot from the three-point arc, which Falcons clearly have not been able to do tonight. 1 for 16 from three-point land.
Yeah, what I have been happy to see, though, in this second half is that they have stopped shooting as many threes. I'm a big three-point fan, big three-point guy, but they've only taken 4. They obviously saw that it wasn't working, so they've been taking a lot more to the rim, which has paid off, obviously, with that 2-point percentage, but as well as the free throws.
As we see a very interesting throw-in play. William & Mary going to get the shot off from 3. Fasasi cannot get it to land. For those who missed that throw-in, they had another guy come out of bounds and throw the ball in. It was pretty nifty.
Yeah, you don't see that play too often, but they got it to go as Ruffin gets the 2.
As Shackelford hits the floor, tries to get a steal, couldn't get it to land. Miller's going to get the ball on the right side. And if you're the Tribe, you're chewing as much clock as possible. Staying up at the top, using all of the shot clock. So you have a quick fall from R.J. Jones. Going to get the ball for the Falcons. Wool going to pump fake, find himself at the three-point lane, and knocks it down. Much needed 3 for the Falcons, gives themselves their second of the night.
Yeah, Wool, nice move there. Shot fake, one drive in, took a little sidestep, banged the 3. Second 3 of the night for the Falcons. 73-64, 120 left in this ballgame.
By no means are the Falcons out of this. Going to have to play some tough defense here. Get a few and ones. The 3 up by Fasase, and it's not going to land.
In and out.
By Thomas. Campbell over to Ruffin. Ruffin with the 3. Bang! Ruffin knocks one down. As we have a ball game here in the Stroh. Campbell gets it over to Ruffin. Cuts the lead down to 6. 73-67 as we have a timeout in the Stroh. We'll be right back here on Falcon Radio.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
On Friday, the 6th seed BGSU Falcons take on the 3rd seed Ohio Bobcats in the Mid-American Conference Volleyball Tournament in the Stroh Center. Falcon Media Sports Network's Andrew Smith and Ben Korak will have a call on Friday at 7 p.m. live on Falcon Radio. Check out bgfalconmedia.com for previews, recaps, photos, videos, and more of the Falcons.
Do it. Back here in the Stroh Center, as the Falcons are going to have a quick foul here. 73-67. I'm Noah Seeley, Dawson Petler as my color. Dawson, that was a quick 2 threes by the Falcons to bring this game into 6.
Yeah, that was a fun run. Falcons struggling to shoot from downtown this entire game, end up hitting 2 back-to-back when they need it at most. Now only down 6 as 2 free throws here for the Tribe. The Stroh getting loud.
1 minute remaining in the match. As that first free throw is going to be good. Kyle Pulliam staying composed under the loud noise. Pulliam going to get his second free throw. Shots up, and it's good. Knocking down both of his free throws, pushing this back up to an 8-point game. There's a long throw in. It's going to result in a Campbell layup. Justin Thomas with a great throw down. Shackelford with the miss. Campbell with the putback.
Yeah, luckily Campbell was there to scoop it up.
William and Mary can't find their way in. They're going to have to call a timeout. Falcons putting the pressure on when they need to. 75-67. We'll stay with you for this timeout since there is not too much they're going to talk about. Dawson, 6-point ball game once again. 56 seconds left. Do you see the foul games start to happen now?
I think so, yeah. I mean, we saw it right before there with that long, call it football pass all the way down the court to Shackelford and then, of course, Campbell. But the Falcons keeping up the pressure, forcing the timeout there. I think they need to definitely keep up their pressure, keep up the double, and if it comes across the timeline, getting the foul. Because shot clock, 30 seconds, 50 seconds, 56.7 seconds left in this ball game. It's a close one.
Like we had mentioned, with about 2.5 left in the ball game, it would be nice if the Falcons were to have hit the threes, and now they've gotten 2 more, which doubles the amount that they've had so far, triples it.
Yeah, Falcons only down by 6 right now. That's only 2 threes, right? So Falcons definitely not out of reach on this one. It'll be exciting to see what comes out of this timeout here in this close game.
And I can tell you on the Tribe side, Dawson, they've already had the nifty throw in play where they had one guy hold the ball, throw it over to the other guy who was also out of bounds, and run a little bit of a football play. So to say the least, that timeout definitely helps them more than it hurts them, because now they can come up with a nifty play that I'm sure Coach Earl has in his pocket.
It does, yeah. That football play, like you mentioned, that's kind of one that you normally have in your back pocket to throw in, so that timeout definitely helps to give them something to draw up, as you have 3 players for the Tribe near half court.
As we are going to see the football play, going to get over to Reese Miller. Reese Miller running the baseline, going to find someone, and that's going to be a foul. Campbell and Ruffin kind of sandwiched the William and Mary player.
Yeah, you generally see doubles being all right, but they're both moving their feet, tried to squeeze through them. The refs are going to call that.
Dare Jones going to be the one at the free throw line for the Tribe. First one is up, and it is good. The Tribe, as well as the Falcons, both hitting well from the charity stripe. Tribe 15 for 17, looking to go 16 for 18 here with this free throw.
Yeah, and that's what's been helping the Tribe out a lot, because it's now a 3-possession game. If you're the Tribe, you need those free throws.
As the second one knocks down. Falcons still with only 55.5 left in the game. Campbell's going to bring the ball up. He's going to drive in. He's going to miss the left-hand layup. Falcons in a press, trying to find someone. Not fouling yet, and there's the foul on Campbell. Campbell going to foul. It's going to send Chase Lowe to the line.
Yeah, and Campbell just not able to convert on the offensive end. He was huffing and puffing down the court, tried to finish on the left side, but couldn't get it to go. Then the Falcons applying pressure down the court, trying to get a double, not able to get it, having to foul, and it'll be 2 free throws here from Lowe.
Along with that, that is going to be Javante Campbell's 5th foul. So Campbell is going to check out of the ball game. We're going to get Sam Towns back in. Not someone you want to have out with 42 seconds left. Chase Lowe going to go up for the free throw. Shot is up, and it's good. Trying to put this game into double digits is Lowe. Shot is up, and it is good. It is now a double-digit ball game. Going to be hard for the Falcons to come back from double digits with 42 seconds remaining, though not impossible. Ruffin's going to get this ball into Thomas. Thomas bringing the ball up. Wool going to take the deep 3, but he's going to be fouled. Shot misses. Wool gets fouled.
Yeah, Joel Emmanuel, it's similar to the 3 that we saw with the foul earlier in the game on Justin Thomas. Emmanuel just not giving Wool enough area to land, and the refs are going to call that. And Wool going to have 3 free throws. Very helpful, very beneficial for the Falcons.
3 crucial free throws for the Falcons coming up as Wool's first shot is up, and it's good. As you could hear the silence in the throw, definitely keeping it nice and quiet for him.
Yeah, you could hear a needle drop in here for that free throw as he cuts it to a single-digit game. Falcons down by 9 points with 2 free throws left.
Wool's second shot is up, and it is good. Wool doing his best to keep the Falcons in this ball game. Cuts the lead down to 8. Wool's third free throw is up, and it's good. 7-point ball game here. As we see another football pass. Miller running the baseline. Falcons trying to trap. They do. Brockhoff is wide open. Emmanuel. Emmanuel going to get it down to Pullum, and Pullum's going to be fouled.
Yeah, and very unique by William and Mary. If you don't know what we're talking about with that football pass, they have someone out of bounds. Another person not with the ball runs out of bounds. You're then allowed to toss the ball off to that player, and the other player is allowed to run out and establish his position.
It's a very interesting play, which we have seen NBA and college teams run, so it's not that far-fetched. And so far, it has worked for the Tribe.
Yeah, no, for sure. I've definitely seen it happen before, just not too common, but it's definitely worked out for the Tribe as they've been able to inbound the ball almost every single time.
As both shots for Kyle Pulliam are going to land. Back up to a 9-point ball game with about 30 seconds left. Falcons still not thinking they're out of this. Would assume there's going to be a 3 taken here. As that's correct, as Wool's going to take one. He's going to be off the back of the rim. And I'd assume the Falcons are going to let this one run out. And Wool's going to take the foul on low. Don't know if he thought Wool was maybe going to try and get a layup there. Not the best thing to do a foul there, but if he's going to go and take a layup by himself, might as well foul him.
Yeah, all the other Falcons kind of died off. Wool up ahead of everybody, and he looked like he was going to go towards the bucket, so Wool just committing the foul there. And people are starting to exit the Stro here.
That's also going to be Wool's 5th foul. Jason Kimbrough is going to check in for the game. 11 seconds left, Dawson. It's a 9-point game. I think it's the end for the Falcons.
Yeah, pretty much. Especially you look at the William and Mary players. For the free throws, they're not even putting people into the box. You have 4 Falcons, 0 Tribe players.
Lowe misses the first shot, and his second shot's going to be up, and it's good. And we have a double-digit ball game here with 11 seconds left. Thomas is going to try and get a 3 off. Going to actually drive in. Miss it, but Towns is going to clean it up. William and Mary is going to dribble this clock out, and that's going to be the end of the ball game. William and Mary is going to get away with an 82-74 victory. I'm Noah Seeley. Dawson Pelter is my color. We'll come back just here in a few for a few post-game highlights. You're listening to Falcon Radio.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never, ever become a minivan mom. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Check out live updates on X at BG_FMSN.
Back here in the Stroh Center after William and Mary takes home a 82-74 win over the Bowling Green State University Falcons. Noah Seeley alongside Dawson Pelter. Dawson, it kind of looked like the Falcons just couldn't get their threes to fall and really seemed to be the outcome of the game right there.
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely a comfort thing for the Falcons. They just couldn't convert on the three-point end. They were all sorts of out of sorts, 18 turnovers, nearly doubling their average throughout the first couple of games for the Falcons. They get their first loss at home, getting to 3-2, but they've still got some season left, to say the least. So make some improvements where you can and go from there.
Without a doubt, have plenty of season left. With that being said, we're going to send it on back to the Cooling Center, where Daniel Ridenauer, Artie Abrego, and Sam Bork will give you guys the post-game show. From the Stroh Center, this is Noah Seeley and Dawson Pelter signing off.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Unlike other local sources, Falcon Media Sports Network and BG Falcon Media will never charge a paywall to view our content. However, if you are looking to support student media, you can donate at the bottom of our stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
Now back to more Falcon men's basketball coverage from the Falcon Media Sports Network.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Killeen Center live for the Falcon Media Sports Network postgame show here. I'm Dan Ridenauer, joined alongside Artie Abrego and Sam Bork. So, not the result that BGSU wanted, but kind of similar to the Davidson series that we saw. A little bit of a comeback was building near the end of that. So, if you guys would like to walk us through that, take it on away.
I mean, yeah, they definitely played better in the second half than in the first, but I don't think that's really saying much by any means. I mean, when you shoot 3 for 19 for 3, you don't get any threes until your final couple minutes of play, your last two, I should say. That's just not winning basketball. I mean, you also shot 24-27 from the line. And once again, it feels like more of the same issues. I mean, they lost the rebound battle only by 1 this time, 35-34. But again, just couldn't get any momentum really cobbled together consistently, and when they did, it was just too little too late.
Yeah, I mean, they brought it down to within 5, but then was quickly able to allow William and Mary to go on another run to really bring it out of reach. But, you know, I'm glad they did show some more fight in that second half, you know, almost doubled their point value in the first half there. But yeah, just not a great performance all around for this team, especially obviously from the 3-point wise. Really been a struggle so far this season for them, and something that it looks like they're really not going to be able to fix at all soon.
I mean, yeah, sorry to interrupt, but
no, you're good.
And Troy Glover, really quiet on the boards. I mean, only 3 rebounds. He did have 3 steals and 2 blocks, so he's always been strong in the block category, but only played 18 minutes. And then 2 players fouled out. Granted, it wasn't till the end, but this is the type of things we're talking about with, you know, the momentum game of basketball, and then just the shooting has been the most concerning part, in my opinion, of these last couple games. Like, even the games they were winning, there were still multiple moments where the shooting has not been as strong as it should.
Yeah, and especially from, you know, guys like Josiah Shackelford and Javon Ruffin. Josiah Shackelford 0 for 4 from 3, 3 for 10 from the field, and, you know, Javon Ruffin 1 for 5 from 3. So just a bit of a struggle all around. You know, Josiah Shackelford had a very quiet second half there. You know, he finished with 11 points. You know, you had 4 Falcons finish with double figures there, but, you know, William and Mary just had better all-around production from that whole team there.
Well, in an unfortunate night for Bowling Green, we're going to talk a little bit about the game when we come back after this PSA, as well as what the future holds for the Orange and Brown. So don't go anywhere after this PSA. We'll be right back for the Falcon Media Sports Network postgame show here on Falcon Radio.
When I smoke weed, I get lost in the music. I like to isolate each instrument. The rhythmic bass, the harmonies on the piano, the sticky melody.
Hey, careful, babe. There's someone crossing the street.
Sorry, I didn't see him there.
If you feel different, you drive different. Don't drive high.
It's dangerous and illegal everywhere. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You are tuned into Falcon Media Sports Network basketball coverage on Falcon Radio.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Colleen Center in the Falcon Radio studio here for the Falcon Media Sports Network postgame show. I'm Dan Ridenour, joined alongside Artie Abrego and Sam Bork. So, not the night that the Orange and Brown wanted, but there is a future up ahead. So, I would love to kind of hear about it, though. We've talked a lot about shooting. We've talked about Javonte Campbell, Josiah Shackelford, but one guy that I'd kind of look at right now is Myar Wool. So just would love to kind of hear your opinion on him, Artie, and then you as well, Sam.
Well, I mean, this is his first game this season where he hasn't scored double-digit points. In the Davidson contest, in the three games this season that were wins, he scored double-digit points in those games, all off the bench. He had 9 points tonight, shot 2 for 3 from 3, and 3 free throws. 1 rebound and assist, and of course he fouled out. But he only played 11 minutes, so this was very an off game. He fouled a lot. Unfortunately, he got called for quite a lot of stuff. They were bullying him a little bit on defense at times, but this just feels like an off night for him. We know he's very solid for that second unit coming off the bench. So it felt like more like an off night than what it says about him as a player.
But yeah, before Javon Ruffin hit his three-pointer, he was the only Falcon to make a three-pointer that whole game. So, you know, you can't really rely on just one guy to shoot from three like he has. He's been their guy really all season from the three-point range. But, yeah, just, you know, not a whole lot of minutes from him there. But, you know, you had a lot from Javon Ruffin. He was their main guy off the bench there. Bit of a rebound game for him with 11 points.
So looking into the future, for the next contest, your first loss at the Stroh Center for the season. So just moving on for the Falcons, kind of what do you take from tonight and what do you improve moving forward?
Well, the next 2 games are the Fort Myers tip-offs. That's Bucknell and VMI. So those are coming up. They'll be in Florida. They'll be there for the tournament. When I think of that, you have a couple days of stretch before your next game. You have about 5 days. The next game is November 24th, and that tip-off is at 12 p.m. You have a couple days to kind of go back and practice, get things a little sorted out. One thing I would say, you got to work on shooting, and not just like normal shooting. You got to, obviously they do those drills in practice you've seen in basketball where they make the noise, they get pressure on three. That's what I would work on. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's difficult to comment how they should fix things when I haven't shot a basketball in 50 years, but, it's just one of those things where you have to work on your momentum screen. You got to work under pressure. You got to just kind of go back to the fundamentals, in my opinion.
Yeah, not how you want to end out a home game with, they're going to be away from home for a few weeks, their next home game being on the December 6th. So got a bit of a road trip, obviously going down to Florida for that tournament. And then you're going to go and face a tough Kansas State team. So, you just have to lock back in. You have to really shake off this loss. It's a good thing that it's, early in the season like this, but obviously losses like those aren't good for a team at all, especially with their morale and their confidence. Losing a game like this to a William & Mary squad is not going to be good for you. But, like you said, just working on the shooting there. They've been good with limiting turnovers. They had a lot of turnovers this game with 18, just limit those turnovers there, work on those, and try to get more assists too. Spread the ball around more, work on that.
Well, and we'll get seeing through else what can happen, move it along. A lot more basketball to get played, and then a lot more of action until we get into MAC play. Speaking of the Mid-American Conference, let's take a look at the 3 games that occurred tonight. William & Mary and Bowling Green, the Falcons will lose their first at the Stroh Center by a final score of 82-74. Bethune-Cookman will defeat the Ohio Bobcats 76-73, a close matchup there. And then that school up north will be the lone victorious MAC team today with a 92-75 victory over Youngstown State. And then some other notable games around college basketball tonight is Quinnipiac will get a 112-52 victory, and East Texas A&M will get a 115-44 victory, with multiple games going on right now, such as Auburn and Jackson State, Maryland, Mount St. Mary's, and then Dayton and Marquette as well, to name a few. So we're going to get it right back and moving along and get it going. So as we start to close things out here in the Killeen Center, Artie and Sam, do you have any final thoughts?
I mean, this is just sort of a disappointing loss for them. I mean, you're going to have moments in every season where you kind of wish you won a game. I think this is going to be one that the team is very frustrated about because if you look at the stat sheet, if they hit those threes, they dominate this game. So this is definitely going to be one they're probably going to be a little more frustrated about when you kind of look at, as they move ahead throughout the season.
Yeah, especially with, they were pretty favored to win this game, obviously. I mean, we talked about William and Mary. They're a lot better than what their record shows, and this was a game that you could not take lightly at all. And William and Mary really came out and showed that right early on in this game, really dominating them from three ball with Wahlberg knocking down 4 of those. He was their leading scorer, also from 3-point range too. So, just not a great overall performance from them. They really looked just a little bit lost out there, especially on defense, which is what we've known them for to be a really good defensive team. Really just didn't show it there in this matchup.
Well, so an unfortunate night for the Orange and Brown, but that'll be all the time we have for tonight. So thank you so much for joining us with Noah and Dawson on the call. Myself, Artie, and Sam joining us in studio. Feel free to tune in to all Falcon Media Sports Network events that'll be on 88.1 WBGU or Falcon Radio. You can find all written content and features at bgfalconmedia.com and follow us on X at BG_FMSN. But that's going to be all we have for tonight. So thank you for joining us. This has been Men's Basketball here live on Falcon Radio.
Yeah, this album is dedicated to all the teachers that told me I never amount to nothing. To all the people that lived above the buildings that I was hustling from that called the police on me when I was just trying to make some money to feed my daughter. Yeah. And to all my peoples in the struggle, you know what I'm saying? It's all good, baby. It was all a dream. Word Up magazine, Salt and Pepper and Heavy D up in the limousine, hanging pictures on my wall. Every Saturday, rap attack, Mr. Magic Marley Marl. I let my tape rock till my tape pop.